now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly.
Oh!
It asking!
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact se escucha de abajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We've got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the very first day of the November Contenders Trials Tournament. I'm Big Hungry Phil, and joining me on the desk today is Gunther. Gunther, welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. We have some really awesome matches ahead of us, so I'm hyped for this.
Yeah, should be some good ones. So we've got Uprising Academy versus Last Hope coming up first, and then maybe a little bit of a vested interest game for you in our second game of the evening. Just a smidge, because I'm looking down my notes here, and according to this, you're actually on the roster for one of the teams. I don't know how you're going to manage casting and being on the roster. I'm interested to see.
Yeah, so for our later match with our Zero versus QARA, full disclosure, I am a substitute on the roster for QARA in case they need a person. But I got friends on both sides, so
okay.
I'll be I'm not saying I'll be perfect, but I'll be as impartial as I can.
We'll hold you to that. But I got to say, this is actually a really great opportunity. We don't often get a real tier 3, tier 2 warrior in the booth to talk about these teams, because you play with a lot of these guys, a lot of these guys. I won't say intimately, but you've played with them a little bit, so you should have some more insights into what we can expect from these teams. So let's have a look at Uprising Academy first, because they have made some roster adjustments. And the one that stood out to me most was that they've swapped out Crandop and brought Jkaru in here. And you were telling me that you actually think that's probably a fairly good move here for Uprising.
Yeah, I'm inclined to believe so. It's not that I think Crandop was super bad. I just was never super impressed by his play. I never looked at him, and I would say, that guy carried this team fight. But I've seen Jkaru do things where I am just like, I'm floored. It's just impressive. So I think it's a big upgrade.
There's something slightly ominous about the phrase, I've seen Jkaru do things. We'll leave that one where it is. Uprising Academy, I think the other thing that stands out here is this is, I guess you'd call it quite an international roster. We've got Wayfast playing all the way from Israel, Jkaru in the UK. We do have NA players as well. We've got Dridro making, I believe, his first appearance here. And so it's quite spread out when you look at the team compared to Last Hope, who, as far as I'm aware, are all NA-based. Do we think this is likely to play into this matchup today?
So to that extent, I think as my match, last Trials versus 200 MS shows, I don't think it matters too much. Okay. I think a good team is good on ping regardless, or no matter where they're from. As far as I know, everyone on UA speaks English, so there shouldn't be an issue there too much. But that doesn't mean like Last Hope is out. I've coached some of their players, I've worked with some of their players, and there's a lot of really impressive individual talent on Last Hope. I specifically want to be looking at Train Cloud on off tank and Noxious.
Train Cloud is what I was going to bring up.
Yeah. Train Cloud has just been like consistently good, and he was known early as just most of a Sigma player, but I've seen him evolve, learn that Zarya, learn that Diva, and it's been really impressive.
I feel like if you're in this weird position where Sigma is the first hero that you get like really up to speed on and get at a competitive level on, because of how intricate and complex some of his kit can be, I feel like that puts you in a really good position to pick up the rest of the off-tank roster here. So looking forward to seeing how he's adapting that into the current meta. And Gunther, it wouldn't be a cast for me if I didn't take the chance to highlight the fact that we do actually have someone who I think used to be, maybe even still is, a console player, and I brought this up on Twitter earlier. Micro currently has top 7 Xbox listed in his bio, so always happy to see a console warrior make it up to the bigger leagues here. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on Micro, not for any specific reason other than the fact that I myself am a console warrior, and always happy to see those guys given a bigger stage.
So as a main support player, Micro was one of the first people that I've ever like really spoken to or worked with who was like, I wholeheartedly enjoy playing Brig. I think everyone kind of accepted it eventually.
Right.
Oh yeah, he's a psychopath.
Okay.
But to that extent, he fully embraced like some of these more boring heroes, like playing Brig or Mercy, and actually got pretty good at them.
I feel like it's, if you look at some of the more public figures who have made a living is maybe the wrong word, but like made a name for themselves playing Brig, they will tell you that Brig is actually an intricate and nuanced hero. She isn't the heal bot that everybody thinks she is. And I just wonder if that's maybe an aspect of mindset. Like, you've got to be somebody like Micro to really hone in on someone who is not, you're not lining up pixels, you're not taking ridiculous skill shots from halfway across the map. And I think there's a lot of value in someone who is just like solid, dependable, able to get into the nitty gritty of a hero like that.
I'm actually really inclined to agree. Back when I was playing pretty consistently and Brig started to become meta, I think an issue that I faced and that a lot of other players faced is the hero wasn't enjoyable, so you didn't want to learn it. And because you didn't want to learn it, you didn't do well. And because you didn't do well, you weren't having fun. And it was a cycle.
Yeah, I feel like for a lot of people that were, I don't know, let's just pick on Lucio players, like to go from Mr. Gotta go fast, gotta get boops, gotta line up those little sound orbs and get the headshots, to hold up shield, walk forward, get rally ASAP. It is a little bit of a step down in actions per minute, I think. So I can understand why, a high-paced hero player is probably less than happy moving over to Brig.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it sucks for a while, and then once you really embrace that hero and you start to learn the nuances of a hero like Brig or Mercy, and you understand that, oh, there's actually a lot of complexity under the hood here. Let's unpack this. Let's look at this. Let's try to get better at this. Then it actually becomes, I hesitate to say fun, but very rewarding.
Sure. It's nice to get something out of the effort you've put in, even if that effort is maybe not where you'd like to be putting that. But I wonder if we can maybe talk a minute whilst we're waiting to load into the lobby about what we're expecting the meta to be here today. So I'm looking towards our next match again, specifically because Our Zero are a team that I've covered recently, and we saw them running this, let's call it Sombra Reaper Dive Brawl hybrid. I'm sure there's a catchier name for it, but they were running that and finding a lot of success with it. Having watched some other teams try and replicate that, it seems to be tricky to make it work unless you've really got it down pat. What are we expecting to see today, really?
So no big leaks. I've subbed for QARA. I have a lot of friends on Our Zero, so spoken back and forth both times. I would expect to see a lot of brawl, at least coming out of Our Zero, but that doesn't mean they don't have those more slightly more nuanced comps, I guess you could say, in their back pocket. I've back in TOC, I saw Our Zero play pretty well on these poke comps. And QARA is pretty comfortable on those poke comps, and they're, from what I've seen, good with the brawl. So I think it'll be a little bit of back and forth as to what really ends up becoming like the meta. But I don't think there's going to be too much set in stone.
No. Well, speaking of stone, a lot of stonework where we're going next. Ilios is going to be our first map for today. No guarantee as to which of the sub-maps we're going to just yet, but this is going to be our map set for today. And in fact, this is now locked in for every team that's playing. There's no loser picks. There's no winner picking defensive, offensive side. This is just what we're going through. So starting off on Ilios, I feel like of all the control sets, this is the one that has, maybe with the exception of Ruins, the least variation across the map, I think, possibly. So I guess Ilios is probably going to give us a nice window into what we can expect across the course of the map set.
Something I find really interesting about Ilios, just as the game has evolved and been played, is with the exception of Ruins, on both Well and Lighthouse, you very consistently see, I would say, a default comp being played in those areas. Something that is just good, and you're going to be seeing going forward them consistently playing these comps. So if we're on Lighthouse or Well and we see teams rolling out on Brawl, I would expect to see a lot of Brawl throughout the series. Same thing for Poke if we start on those maps.
Yeah, it's a nice weather vane for the rest of the series, but have just had confirmation should be going in very shortly. We obviously been over the rosters a little bit today. Is there anybody here that you've not really had a chance to see that you're looking forward to getting a window on?
So yeah, definitely. I think I'm excited for Noxious to get another chance to show himself in trials. He's definitely a bit of an underrated hit scan player. I'm excited for Wayfast, who I haven't necessarily seen in a hot minute. And I'm excited for Pizza Demon, who's only really played with Uprising Acad for a short period of time, played last trials, and I'm excited to see them coming through in this trials.
Well, it looks like we're locked, loaded, and ready to go. Still a few seconds before we're out of the gates, and this is unfortunately one of those map types where we can't really talk about what's in spawn just yet because, as you can still see, changes going on pretty rapidly, but solidifying here. Looks like we've got a Symmetra out the gates for both teams. And, well, kind of a mixed bag here, Gunther.
Yeah, Last Hope rolling out on this kind of hybrid comp with a Sigma and a pretty strong backline, whereas Uprising Academy is still Hope to an extent, but they're looking to go a lot more aggressively with, like, maybe that Tracer shoulder poke and specifically that deep. Still has a lot of field potential regardless.
Early path from Last Hope takes them around the far side of the point. Uprising Academy now trying to kite out of the way and bring the fight back to a position they're more favorable in here. Did see Tree get a lot of damage into Uprising Academy there, but no kills on the back of it just yet. And everybody currently playing really hesitantly. Not just now on the Tracer. Both in this on the backside. Gets the combo there with the pile driver, but it's going to be Open Souls that's down first. So Uprising Academy with an early lead. Big roll through now from Faded, but does take the other Discord and has to back out momentarily. Tree with the double. The tap with the equalizer. Still no ground gain here for either team, but as Tree goes down to False and we lose a large part of the damage here from Last Hope, it is going to be Uprising Academy with the first split.
That first fight was really interesting to me because you saw how Last Hope took a lot of space very early using that Sigma barrier. But then Uprising Academy were able to get back, regroup, get those resources and cooldowns back, and push aggressively through again with that that D.Va going aggressively and very good peel dealing with Noxious.
Ooh, that's a big initiation from Faded. Found False with D-Mech. That's going to be another 10 seconds before anybody's really in this, but Wayfast is taking the initiative. Has the tactical visor, but just can't find anybody squishy enough to make anything happen with it. Tap's going to find Trey Cloud, and Wayfast now still has the high ground. There's a quick double here as Tree falls. Tap now on the hunt in the back. We're going to lose QARA on the ball here. Rallies out. Pulse Bomb not yet available for Tap, but 3 on the cards for Uprising Academy. We'll see the flip here for Last Hope, but it's going to be a scant 10% before it bounces right the way back to Uprising.
These fights feel very, very scrappy coming out from Last Hope. It's really, people are looking to take these off angles. They're looking to push around corners and try and find a really good angle to get picks off of. But in that process, it feels like they're maybe getting destabilized on their walk-up or something. Uprising coming into this next fight have a lot of really big defensive ults to deal with that flux and deal with that duplicate. So if Uprising can weather this storm, then it's definitely Sony's guys for them with the 100% on this point.
Yeah, if they can weather this last fight or this next fight, it's going to be an easy 80-90% of the board for them, depending on how long this goes. Faded gifted minefield off there, but stunned out on the roll through, so not knocking anybody through. Tree's going to pick up the brick here, couple of quick health packs, and immediately taken out of that duplicate form. Uprising Academy track him down, get his number, send him back into the base format, and Uprising Academy now rounding 80% on this first round of Ilios. Last Hope are going to get one more crack at it.
There was an early flux and early mines that came out from Last Hope, and they were able to deal with both, just with Pizza Demon's strengths. So Dredro came back with a rally, and they were able to push really, really aggressively through. Last Hope really only has a pulse and a strength to work with in this next fight, which might be hard to go aggressively from. Tap forced it out early.
Yeah, self-destruct out and finds Noxious of all people. You would think one of the easier characters to get out of the way of a self-destruct, clearly caught without blinks. Wayfast, guarding the point with a tactical visor, not getting the kills, but doing the damage, forcing them back, and that's going to be 100-13 for Uprising Academy.
Uprising Academy did a really good job on that point of continuously absorbing the damage that was being put out by Last Hope and being able to poke at their formation and find these openings, and then Tap gets in and hits somebody. False gets in and hits somebody. Pizza Demon calls a Discord, and then Jakaru and and Slam and Rocket. It was really it was just, I think, very well done to see how these teams played around the different comps that they were dealing with.
I feel like the way Last Hope are playing is kind of split in a really strange way. It looks like they might be going for something different here, but between the Sigma, the Brig, and the Zen on one half of the team, and then the three basically flanker characters on the other, it felt like they were never really together in a solid unit to take a fight.
I'm inclined to agree. And coming into this next point, we see a lot of similarities coming out. The Last Hope rolling out on the Lucio Mercy instead of on the Brig Zen, which is going to give a lot more pressure coming from out from tree on the Echo, but might be a bit more dangerous for the tank line.
Got a bit of a Newton's Cradle situation here with the Wrecking Ball spinning to win down below this approach point, but it's Tree with a connection there with the ski bombs that takes Wayfast out of the fight first. And of course, no mercy here for Uprising Academy, so it's an automatic 6v5 in favor of Last Hope, and unless Uprising Academy can get an equalizer fairly soon, it's likely to go the way of Last Hope. And we have actually got the initial flip now, Gunther.
Yeah, you really have to look at like the differences between the Soldier and the Echo right here. It's the differences between like playing a bit of a more core backline and playing more of a poke comp. And because of that, Uprising Academy are doing a really good job of playing this core backline, outlasting these fights, living for longer, and just poking out. And you see that they're able to flip the point and take this point just through the Discord damage and the Soldier damage.
There's a little more point percentage gain there by Faded, but I think went over the edge with a lot of his HP still intact and gave a lot of ult charge over here to fall. So Uprising Academy, not only did they win that fight, they'll be even in the standings, and they're coming in with a lot of ults to play with in this next fight.
Uprising Academy definitely favored on ult economy here, which is one of the most important things on King of the Hill modes. If Last Hope want to play through main, they're going to have to deal with Wayfast's and Pizza Demon's damage. If they want to rotate directly to point, they have to deal with mines and a big dive. It feels a bit of a catch-22 where every way they want to push is dangerous.
Dive will come through, and Last Hope able to get one on the board there as Wayfast is down, but they trade out Train Clouds. QARA looking for the initiation through the window, but it's a small window. It's a big mech and can't quite make that happen. They're going to lose Tap, but I mean, that almost felt like QARA wasn't even trying for that. He just rolled back to point, and Noxious happened to be in the way and got caught in the middle of it. Mine's on the point. And with the tactical visor out here from Wayfast, Autumn Souls didn't stand a chance, and QARA just looking to buy some space on the point here. Noxious down, and we are at 60% here for Uprising Academy, and Last Hope coming into the next fight are only really going to have the minefields to work with.
You have to keep looking at the differences in backlines here. Sure, they got a pick onto Wayfast. Sure, they were able to go really aggressively. But when Last Hope can't kill Pizza Demon and they can't remove that Discord Orb, the amount of pressure that is then put on Last Hope is so much... it's exponential. The longer the fight goes on, the worse it's going to be for Last Hope. They need to be able to deal with Pizza Demon and destabilize him from this high ground, which they might be looking to do. Otherwise, I think they lose this next fight.
And they can't really afford to lose this next fight. It's 15% away from Uprising Academy, taking a 2-0 on Ilios. So something's got to happen, and it's got to happen more or less now. Here's the initiation from Faded, comes in with a minefield, but Pizza Demon completely unfazed, just back into the box, nobody pressuring him in the slightest. Now the fight's starting to transition over towards the point. It's the only place Last Hope can afford to take this. They've already lost 2 here, and Force, whilst they may be losing the mech here, has already demeched the opposite number. It's back over to the Bunny Blaster. Noxious finds one with the pulse bombs. Pizza Demon goes down. The fight starts to get a little bit tradey here, but Dritro with the rally on the point knocks them for 6 cents. Micro off the point, and that's it. It's a 2-0, and Ilias and Uprising Academy take the lead in the series.
Last Hope are playing a comp there with that Mercy Lucio backline, which intrinsically put them on a timer. The longer the fight goes, the more value that Brig's going to be getting, the more value the Zen is going to be getting. So they had to go aggro in these early fights before they took a lot of poke damage on their walk-up, since they weren't able to properly stage a dive onto Pizza Demon and onto Wayfast. It didn't end up perfect for them. They needed to destabilize before they were able to go for a proper dive. They needed to set up and stage, and it just didn't seem to be happening.
Seemed like they weren't really given the opportunity. Once Uprising Academy were like fully ensconced, that was it. They just didn't have anything to get into that space and specifically deal with the threats that were locked up there. A really, really good understanding there of the high ground from Uprising Academy, and almost felt like a lack of an understanding of what the tools were to break that here from Last Hope. I would have liked to have seen a little more adaptation, but not just running the same comp into it again and again. Like, you know, what were the options there for dealing with that? Because I feel like just banging your head against the wall is very seldom it.
If Micro wanted to go for some big plays, just on the note of what you could really do there are some really phenomenal routes that you can take, maybe over left side or maybe around point and then up through like the coast side that you could use to very easily destabilize that high ground and get for boops. And it was really just they needed to be coming in from different angles. They needed to be coming in from different points of aggression, and it really felt like they were coming in from a centralized direction. And since Uprising Academy was able to funnel all of their damage into one place and therefore deal with the dive, it just didn't feel like Last Hope was approaching the situation in maybe a patient enough manner. Even if they were on a bit of a timer, they still could have taken some more time.
Well, Last Hope are going to get, of course, another couple of goes to prove that actually they can adapt and move around. And we're moving over next to our assault map for today, which is going to be Volskaya Industries. And I personally don't feel like I've seen enough of either of these teams just yet to really have a read on who this map favors. I think just on the strength of that first map, it's looking like Uprising Academy. But obviously the geometry and the nature of Volskaya means that it almost mandates a different approach to this. We'll see if Uprising Academy can maintain the approach they've taken so far, or if we're looking to see a wholesale change from them.
Specifically on first point, you see a lot of these really long angles coming out on Volskaya. You see these Ashe Mercy comps, and sometimes you see these Soldier Mercy comps starting to dominate. We haven't seen a lot of Mercy so far, but we've also only seen 2 control points, so there's only so much that you can glean from that. If somebody like Noxious is able to get it, dig their feet into the ground and play Ashe, this might be really hard. But we see this very similar poke comp coming out from Last Hope, but Shree's on the Soldier now instead of on the Acad.
And I suppose while you do lose some of the angle control that you have with an Echo, because you lose that height that you have, I think there's the potential here for the sustain for the Soldier, and the fact that he doesn't need quite such heavy babysitting because he's got his own recovery, that probably makes them a little more stable in this composition.
Yeah, it reminds me a good bit of the very old counter dive comps where you'd run Soldier on a Lucio, and then when the enemy team would dive, you'd drop heal pad, you'd nade your feet, you'd amp heals, and you'd hope for the best. So you're seeing a pretty similar principle here with the Briggs and Soldier.
Looks like we're getting some early scouting here from Uprising Academy. Wayfast now running back to pick up that Soldier, and it's more of the same. In fact, not a long way away from a mirror matchup here.
Yeah, and now it is, specifically with False going over to the Sigma. Uprising are going to be probably looking to matching shields, push up high grounds, and maybe mirror and just win this poke war. Tap is going to be probably looking to go around right side and get some kind of off angle to collapse as the rest of the team is able to push.
This is already a little bit strange here. QARA going to go around the back here, maybe looking to get a knockoff. Gets in but receives the stun. Nice bit of scouting there, but it's not going to be enough as the rest of Uprising Academy surround, divide, and conquer. And that is it. Last Hope definitely on their last hopes for their point A defense. Very quick cap time from Uprising Academy.
That was incredibly surgical. The way you saw QARA, bait a couple people to look at him. You would see the rest of the team pushing up through that high ground. That was a very well executed push. They didn't waste too many resources, and because of the way that fight went, no team is really favored in alt economy here. But if Uprising Academy are able to execute on the second point like they did on the first, then we're seeing a pretty quick cap coming out.
Yeah, your only hope here for Last Hope really is that because it was such a quick fight, no one's got ultimates on the board. Uprising Academy are a little bit ahead, but they're not about to be snowballed unless there's a key pick coming through. Tap's forced to use the recall there in the 1v1 versus the Tracer. And speaking of a quick kill, Autumn Souls is down to Pizza Demon, so it's a 5v6, and QARA is looking to take up space, gets up onto the high ground, but Tree gives him the old dip, dodge, duck, and dive, and gets out of the way of that one, making it a 4v5. Force bomb out from Tap, just forces Train Cloud away from his high ground position here. Doing a really good job of buying up attention here from the Tracer. Won't find the pick, but will eventually result in the pick onto Faded there. Wayfast with the tactical visor in the back, finds 2. And this is exactly the quick cap we were thinking about for Uprising Academy. Last Hope come through with nearly any time burn off on the defense.
Tree got that early pick, or that fight in the early fight onto Pizza Demon, and something in those 2CP fights where it's, these incredibly long spawns and these, very fast comps, going for those trade kills is probably your best bet in order to win this. So it looked for a little bit hey, maybe Last Hope is going to come back and do something with this, but they weren't able, they were too busy trying to stall because they had to in order to not lose the point, that they weren't able to properly stabilize and go for a real recontest. We barely saw any ults use that point. That felt like a match of CS with the amount of abilities I didn't see.
I think for me, the thing that broke that fight was Autumn Soul's positioning being, let's call it suboptimal. Pizza Demon was just able to get a snipe from quite a long way across the map, and as soon as you've got that 5v6, Uprising Academy just went, okay, cool, that's it, this is a winnable fight, and things started getting invested. If that pick had gone the other way, I think we'd have seen a lot more of point B here, because once the attack has that momentum in their favor, it can be really, really hard to come back from that, which is kind of why we saw the scrabbling from Last Hope that we saw.
I wholeheartedly agree that it was... Pizza Demon has been playing some very good angles so far. He's had Dredro hold down those areas that would be dangerous for him. He's been able to properly peek a lot of sight lines, and we're seeing this cyber dive come out from Last Hope now, as opposed to the poke comps we've been seeing.
Are we going to see them stick with this, or is this early scouting? No, it looks like this might be being committed here. So we've got Noxious going into the backline looking to get their positioning. Presumably that information has now been fully relayed. I think the question here is, do they know where Tap is? Because Tap getting an assassination on the support here could be what breaks this offense early. Won't get the support, but will unstealth Noxious, who has to TP out with barely a sliver of HP. Now, Uprising Academy know that they've got almost a 5v6 for a couple of seconds. That's not going to come through, though. QARA rolls into the back, looking to try and get Noxious as they come out of the TP. Wayfast has a bead on them there, and Micro's down. It's the 4v6 as Wayfast connects with the Helix rocket, and that's Uprising Academy with the hold here on point A.
So the purpose of running this Mercy as opposed to something like a Brig or Lucio is you pocket your Genji and you kind of treat him like a QARA. You're attempting to build that ult as fast as possible, but Genji also has a lot of one-shot potential with that damage boost at close-range brawls. But with Uprising Academy's poke comp and the way they rotated between the left and right high grounds, you're able to see how they're poking a lot and they're forcing Last Hope to go into that left side and take these places which might not be optimal to dive from, but they're forced into there because of how much pressure Uprising is putting on. You see how they're rotating through this left side now, and Uprising's already staging a dive.
Yeah, and you can almost see the conversation here between Tap and the rest of the team as he's shadowing them as they make this rotation. QARA was able to find Noxious, and it's just all over them there. Like, yeah, you guys are technically still on the map, but you ain't in the fight anymore, Last Hope. And Uprising Academy have now burnt us down to nearly the 2-minute mark on the defense.
Yeah, we're starting to see that Nano Blade come up too, so depending upon how quick Last Hope pulls the trigger, that could be dangerous for Uprising, or that could be perfectly fine. But we're seeing again the same thing we saw in Ilios, how Last Hope is taking these rotations together. They're going from one angle, they're trying to push one point. You need to be taking multiple angles and pushing multiple places in order to effectively dive a comp which has strong counter.
The thing that worries me is because they're running the cyber dive, they really want the EMP over the top to deal with Pizza Demon, but that's not going to be online just yet. And Wayfast with the opening salvo on the tactical visor. Won't find the picks, but buys the space, gets the DMEC, and Tree's going for it anyway. Gets the nano, gets the blade out, gets the rockets to the face. And that's the cyber dive well and truly blunted here with 90 seconds on the clock. Gunther, is that going to be enough to build another blade? They're just going to abandon it. They're going straight over to the Tracer.
I would too. When you get destabilized as hard as you did there's really only one way that blade could go, and it was sad to watch, but it was a team effort. That wasn't just Tree did a bad blade.
No, it's always way more complicated than that. But I would have liked to have seen them hold on for the EMP. Might have worked a little better for them.
Yeah, it's been taking so long to charge this EMP because of how False has been playing around his backline, properly matrixing, scouting out Noxious. This matchup between the way the Sombra wants to get in and the way that a Diva wants to push out that Sombra has been really interesting to watch so far, but it's definitely been favored in False's side.
Yeah, and I'm looking for combos here, and the only one that really sticks out is going to be that EMP self-destruct, and oh boy, if that is not a hard ult to get off on the sort of composition that Uprising Academy are running. Minefield out from QARA will scatter them away from the point, self-destruct out, clears the mines, but that's about all it achieves. In the meantime, QARA gets one out of his own up on the high ground. Knocks into the EMP now, but's got to be careful. Face to face with a brick. Face to face with self-destruct over the top. There's the EMP. TP's out, but full stable upon Train Cloud. D-mech'd out of the mech. And it's a 5v6 yet again for Uprising Academy. It's a 4v6 with 3 seconds left to go. QARA may be hacked, but this is as far as it's going for Last Hope. There's the pick onto Faded, and we are out of the fight. A full hold on point A for Uprising Academy.
The biggest thing that I've been seeing so far in Last Hope's dives and their pushes is that Uprising Academy has been able to consistently poke and force out Matrix, force out these armor packs, and consistently just try to out damage and hurt Last Hope on their walk up before they're able to use their resources and cooldowns when they're actually taking a fight.
Well, this does put us at 2-0 for Uprising Academy. They're one map away from taking their first win in this season of Contenders Trials. But before we bring you that, we're going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh no! Kill! Let's go!
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then two captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Uprising Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%. Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly. Oh, and asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact Se escucha de va a gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
Welcome back, everybody, and we are still live in the middle of the first match of the November season of Contenders Trials Uprising Academy, currently 2-0 against Last Hope, Big Hungry Phil, and Gunther, ready to bring you what could be the final map of the match. It has been a little bit one-sided, hasn't it, Gunther?
So far, yes. You've consistently seen Last Hope trying to execute on something in Uprising Academy, consistently saying no. Tap has gotten a pick mid-fight. Wayfast has been able to pressure down tanks. It's a lot of Last Hope will try to make a play, and Uprising is consistently blocking it out and making plays of their own.
And we have got our next map even, locked and loaded and ready to go. And that's going to be Hollywood, our hybrid map for today. And so far, we've only seen our teams tackle control points. Now that we've got the hybrid aspect in the mix, maybe we see a little bit of a mix-up of styles. But for Last Hope, who have so far failed to gain a real footing on a control point, they've still got to bridge that hurdle of the point A cap here. And I'm expecting Uprising Academy to not really be making too many changes here.
The one thing that's going for Last Hope right now is they're on attack now. When on Volskaya Industries, Uprising Academy were able to really set that pace on first and second point. They pushed, they had a really good time bank, and that forced Last Hope to say, okay, we need to push, we need to try and do something with this, because if we can't full cap, that's it, we're done. But now with Last Hope on the attack first, they're able to really set that pace and set that tempo.
And just for our viewers at home, yes, you have witnessed a color swap. Uprising Academy now playing in the white of Contenders, and Last Hope playing in the green of Contenders. I don't know about you, but it fills me with a certain sense of Overwatch pride to see our teams repping these colors today. And as suspected, no real changes here from Uprising Academy. It's going to be down to Last Hope to see what they can make happen here.
Exactly. It's interesting to see how Last Hope is trying to make a lot of very good plays, and they're going for some very good plays, but they're losing in I'd say the macro game, and then doing pretty well in that micro game of those details.
Okay, well, looks like we're going to have kind of a full dive here, if not the OG dive, but a long rotation. Looking to get over into Cafe. A lot of damage thrown into Last Hope on their way through, but they have not successfully made the rotation. Faded on the low ground, up onto the high ground, finds the support. A good isolation here. The dive comes through, but way fast is there to support, and Faded, Train Cloud, Micro all down. That was decisive by Last Hope, but Uprising Academy once more slamming their door on the field.
Yeah, it was that exact same thing. They are on this attack. They're here to try and set the tempo, and Uprising Academy is doing a very consistent job of finding these off angles, looking for these really good picks in this mid fight, and just, you know, stopping Last Hope in their tracks. It's this immovable object.
So I guess we may have a slight technical issue for now. Gunther will be rejoining us ASAP. In the meantime, Last Hope still scrabbling for purchase here, and Tree kind of hanging around the back here. Peter didn't get the opening frag, and Micro is down. So without the Lucia there to assist with the mobility around the point, and with Autumn Souls knocked off the board as well, as going to be Last Hope back to spawn and trying this yet again. Looks like we might still be Sans Gunther. And in the meantime, looks like we've got somebody trying to cause trouble around the back here for Uprising Academy. Suspicion is that's going to be Noxious. And it looks like he's actually been scouted out here. Tap sent around to chase him and take him out of the fight. So, Last Hope still in the 5v6 now, with just over 2 minutes left to go on the time bank. And of course, the longer this goes on for Last Hope, the more ultimate Uprising Academy are going to have to throw at this. And Noxious, once again, has just been a little bit too slow at generating that EMP, ready to go to really make this big, impactful push. He's got to get this on that bit quicker. But so far, Uprising Academy doing a fantastic job here of playing in a way that denies Noxious this ult charge. Tap's now engaging with Tree. Tap's going to hold on to the Pulse Bomb. Didn't need it for that one. Deals with Fade in the old-fashioned way. Pulse Bomb jammed down the throat of Micro. It's Tap with the 3K to round out the fight. And we're now down to the 90-second marker here for Last Hope on their offense. We get the pregnant pause while I wait to see if Gunther has rejoined the conversation. And so far, it looks like we may be missing him. So, with 1 minute 15 seconds left to go on the clock here, we do finally have the EMP available for Last Hope. Noxious is getting around the back. He can speed 3 in his sight. Even just getting the 2 tanks here, getting the Tracer, getting a single pick with this EMP would be great. 2 would be ideal. But Last Hope have to be there, ready to capitalize on this. Out comes the EMP. It's going to find Tap, who will get run down. QARA down as well. It's now a 4v6 for Last Hope. False does not have that ultimate ready to go just yet, but Dridro able to get that rally online and start to keep the ailing Uprising Academy up, and False alive long enough to get that gravitic flux into the offing Fade. It's going to go down to Way Fast here, who's closing in on another tactical visor. With Faded down, with the main tank taken out of the picture, things are looking a little bit better now for Uprising Academy as they start to push back. However, with Way Fast taking himself out of the fight with the Helix Rocket, it's going to be down to what is left of Uprising Academy to try and keep this going. Tap again with the double, but Dridro falls to Micro. Autumn Souls coming back from the back lines to try and keep this going. Not quite 2 ticks gained on the point here, and Autumn Souls goes down to False, and it looks like we might just be seeing this second point cap. But no, QARA is back from spawn and ready to keep this going. Uprising Academy, they've rallied the troops, the forces are back and ready to go. Micro is down, and we are into overtime. QARA finds Noxious, Train Cloud, D-Meg ducking and diving, but can't find anything with that. And that's going to be as far as Last Hope go on Hollywood. Just a little over 2 ticks on the board. One last tag in by Micro, but their Discord does for him, and that's where we get the hold.
I come in for the end of this, and there are signs of life coming out from Last Hope. You see some of these picks, these scrappy mid fights, which we would sometimes see Last Hope do very well in. You saw, Tree in the back line causing a ruckus, but at the end of it, they really just weren't able to close that out. Uprising Academy was able to get spawns back. The rally from Dridro kept the team together for God knows how long, and that stabilize and that subsequent pushback for Uprising, it's just a little over 2 ticks. Last Hope wanted to set the pace, but they it seems as if
they set the pace. It just wasn't the quick pace they were really looking for, I think is probably the kindest way to put it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be so frustrating to think that you got this team fight win, and all of a sudden there's regenerating armor just coming in from Dridro, themselves unkillable the majority of the time. It's got to feel so frustrating because there were moments there for Last Hope where it looked like they'd won that fight.
I've been playing with teams, or I've been maybe ringing for a team where a fight will be seemingly won and people will start, doing that post-fight. They'll start doing alt tracking. They'll start planning for next fight. But in that moment, people, sometimes stop calling targets and they get, absent-minded, and the other team pushes back. And you have to stay on and conscious and active for every single second of these fights, or something that just happened there is going to happen again.
Well, looks like we've got some early scouting here from Tree this time, picking up the Sombra. Let's see if he can manage these EMPs a little quicker than we've seen from Noxious, but the Orb of Discord and a bit of target focus sends Tree back to the safety of his team, and Last Hope picking a very similar defensive stance to Uprising.
Yeah, we are playing on last patch, so Brig increased, still only at 200 health, so you're not going to see the tankiest backline of all time coming out from Last Hope. Uprising Academy swapping over to double shield in the year of our Lord, 2020.
Good lord. The disrespect involved with locking the battle cattle in the year 2020 is, well, Uprising Academy clearly feeling themselves on this one.
Yeah, it's not even incredibly disrespectful because of how Last Hope is playing this comp with not a lot of spam, but also not a lot of off-angle pressure, and Uprising Academy are just able to bulldoze their way onto point. Pun intended.
Yeah, I think I really meant it more like, where's the gentleman's agreement to not play Orisa is what I'm getting at here. There's no mini-me in the game. We shouldn't really be having the Orisa. Noxious on the high ground. Nice flash. Won't quite find the follow-up, and Jake Haru is going to go down, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Noxious now pressured out by Tap, but the trades keep on coming through. Faded trying to style this one out with the take a breather, misses the hook. We'll have that back relatively quickly, and Uprising Academy, nothing permanent on the board just yet, but way fast on the high ground, already has the tactical visor, but he's been pressured out. He can't make the full use of it, and over the course of that ultimate, the only thing that happened there really, well, hey, look, the ultimate's over, but the kills are still coming through. I was going to say that was nothing Burger for way fast, but the rest of his team are starting to make this come alive. Tap with yet another kill with the pulse bomb. I think they got hacked and focused down there by Tree, and this is still incredibly tradey here, Gunther.
We saw the early picks come out between a trade between the DPS and the tanks, but as Uprising Academy were able to stabilize, Jakaru comes back on the ball, Last Hope isn't able to come back with their tank line in time, and that tempo advantage coming in for Uprising Academy is just going to net them this cap.
2-6. They don't tag onto the point. Everybody is gone, and we were so hooked on analyzing what was happening that Uprising Academy just went, no, sorry guys, we are busy. We've got a point to cap, and that is it. The game is over. A very quick 3-0 here for Uprising Academy.
Incredibly so. Apparently we should have an interview with Jakaru coming soon. Interested to see how, this new main tank seems to fit in with the rest of the team.
Yeah, well, we will be, of course, going to our interview with Jay Carew, but before we do that, because we take, we got to go unlock the door, let him in, take his shoes off, give him a cup of tea, and then let him into the interview. We're going to throw to a quick break, but we're back very quickly with that for you guys. welcome back, everybody. Phil and Gunther back with you, and special guest QARA here to give us a bit of an insight into that previous match and his newfound place in Uprising Academy. So, QARA, welcome to the stream. Congratulations. How are you feeling on the back of your first win in Contenders Trials?
Hi, it feels good. I haven't played for a while, and it feels good to finally be on a team and playing again. And it's very good that we win our first game so convincingly.
That's good. So you've not been playing with Uprising Academy for very long. How have you slotted into that roster?
I feel like this team was missing the sort of player like myself, which it needed, which is a player who comes in with his own personality, and I just mold the team around sort of like I'm the nice sort of rock for our team to mold around. So I feel like I fit in quite well, and I've really taken a liking to the players and the staff. It's a nice atmosphere.
So we often see a lot of teams. Shot calling in teams often falls into two spaces of you have one person kind of guiding the flow, or you have everyone saying, oh, I want to do this. Can we do this? And they call for their own things. How do you think that your role in the team has been more guiding the team and building that framework, or allowing people to do their things and you just slot into place where you find yourself?
The way I like to do comms is I like everyone to have their own ideas. It's always good when everyone's thinking about doing their own things and setting up plays and making plays for the team. And the role I like to have is to just be the authority on that. So if I like an idea, I'll say, yeah, let's do that. Or if I think of a better idea as they say their idea, I say, no, we're going to do this instead. Like it's that sort of role in my shot calling. I'm just the adjudicator of the plans.
Yeah, big boss main tank is the sensible way to put that. So obviously you've been out of contention for a little while. You've not played in officials for a little while, and I feel like the Contenders NA scene in particular has changed a lot. And Trials right now is a very interesting place with the extra teams coming in from Trial of Champions and Open Division. Is there anybody that you're looking at the minute in Trials that you are either particularly looking forward to playing, or that you're a little bit nervous about playing?
Not really. The biggest goal for Uprising and for myself going into Uprising is to get us into Contenders. I see Trials just a stepping stone to get in there. This team needs to be in Contenders. What it is, it's an academy team. And they've spent too long not being in Contenders. So I wanted to join and make sure that this happens.
You're here to drag them back out of the quagmire of Trials and up into Contenders proper. Okay, I respect it.
And we've pretty consistently seen, as you know, obviously academy teams have been leaving, and that's been this whole thing for a long time. Do you feel like there's any extra weight on you guys, and you specifically as a newest player coming in for Uprising Academy, to try and show off and say, no, we're still good, we still need to be here? Or are you just doing your thing for yourself and how well that you can?
Definitely. If you look at across the pond in the EU, they have their own academy there is the best team in Contenders by far. Like we need to be at that sort of level too if we're an academy.
Great. You love to see the ambition in that, QARA. So thank you very much for coming and giving us that insight. Before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a thanks to or a shout out to?
I'd like to shout out our head coach. He's done really good having us come together as a team.
Cool. Well, QARA, thank you very much for joining us. We'll let you return to the rest of your team and enjoy that first victory, and doubtless plan what's coming up in the next of the games in Contenders Trials. Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining us for our first match. We do, of course, have one more match coming your way from myself and Gunther, and that's going to be Hour Zero against QARA, and they'll be coming up after a not too long break.
barrage so quickly. Oh, and asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact, se escucha de baja gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
Yeah, I'll give subs if I'm wrong. 5 subs per each wrong answer. I want to go watch the Lucia bit. All right, Lucio's vibing, riding cart. Gonna do a little game of Spot the Smurf. There is a GM on each team in this lobby. The rest of the players are either plat or diamond, and we're gonna do kind of analyze every player, go through every single player, and kind of try to figure out which one is the GM player. All right? Yeah, I'll give subs if I'm wrong. 5 subs per each wrong answer. I want to go watch the Lucia bit. All right, Lucio's vibing, riding cart. Gonna do a little game of Spot the Smurf. There is a GM on each team in this lobby. The rest of the players are either plat or diamond, and we're gonna do kind of analyze every player, go through every single player, and kind of try to figure out which one is the GM player. All right, so I'm just gonna go down through the list. We're gonna start with the first player, F1, so the Reinhardt, and I'm just gonna make my way through the list, kind of see who we think is the GM player. Okay, the Reinhardt's done the first 30 seconds. I just accidentally clicked forward a little bit. If you're already done the first 30 seconds on Reinhardt, you probably didn't play it the best most of the time. So we'll see how that happens.
According to our YouTube statistics, only a small amount of people who watch our videos are actually subscribed. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing.
Okay, first things first. Usually holding this choke this early on is a signal of low elo, Most GM Reinhardts won't be playing this far up initially. They will go for a fire strike on spawn door and then back up. So due to this logic of him holding gate, and since he's the main tank, he's choosing where his team holds. Sorry, makes me think he's probably plat or diamond. But I'll keep watching him a little bit just to make sure. I don't want to just throw him out from one positional thing right off the bat. He's really overextending on that corner when he's missing his armor on Reinhardt. He's hard W keying when he has like no armor on Reinhardt. I don't think this is a GM Reinhardt player. I have no doubt in my mind that is not the GM player. I am going on to the Zarya. Okay, so kiting back using bubble. This is really good. But you're down Ryan right now. You have to play very, very passive. If anything, you need to just like play passive, wait for them to mess up, just like this. And then you can retake it. Tracking isn't the greatest. Tracking looks a little rough. Everything, like, they understood the tide of the fight, like backing up and everything. It looks pretty good in terms of that, but the tracking, if they main Zarya, I won't say they would be a GM Zarya player based off that. So I'm gonna move on to the next character really quick. Like, I feel like I'm just like going through a whirlwind tour right now, and I'm gonna try to slow it down. But so I'm gonna watch it a little bit more just in case. See if they're tracking. Maybe they're just warming up. It's the first minute of the game. You know, okay, they're right click jumping to come out of spawn. Okay, good bubble. That's fine. I like the target prioritization, trying to kill the Reaper there. This is good. Okay, more overextend. Why didn't they? Why do you look away from the 1 HP more? All right, let's go put our resources somewhere else in case like someone we're really unsure about. Need to watch them a bit more, right? I don't think it's the Reinhardt or the Zarya so far. It looks like a very normal plat / diamond tank line. Okay, so they're playing this bottom angle. This is fine so far. I'm not really a Widow specialist, but the thing that this angle would make sense if their Reinhardt was already committing on the choke, I guess, and holding shield, right? If he's recharging shield, wouldn't it be better technically to be like upper at that point? And the Hanzo keeps like, you know, corner peeking him, right? He peeked Sonic. He kept going like this. I kept noticing that for a bit, and we just stood still in the same spot the entire time. That's not normal from a GM Widow, if I'm being quite honest. Oh, I'll watch it again. Maybe just one fight. Nice combat roll to get out of Dragon. It's really good. Okay, hitting the flank. Okay. I'll say even in the situations that a lot of GM players even feel safe, here you're still putting your back to people that are technically main on cart, and most people wouldn't take that risk of standing completely still most of the time. So that's another like small detail that kind of like stands out to me for maybe, you know, possibly not being a GM player. Combat rolled forward to try to chase Lucio, I guess, but he was shooting Zarya there. But overall, not like bad though. Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
B for what? Wait, let's skip over to the Lucio really quick and rewatch that fight. What did Lucio do with that beat? Wasn't the fight completely over by the time he beat it? Was he beating like it was the enemy team's grab, not theirs? I mean, it was before grab happened, so I don't find that too weird. It was a very close fight in the person's eyes, like 100%. So if you think the fight's close and you're not sure if you're gonna win it, might as well use it, right? It's kind of how I view it. So if they're not completely sure that they're winning the fight, use it, whatever. Technically speaking, there are better uses for beat, but they did just use their own grab earlier in that fight, and they just got it. So yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Move to the beach.
Thank you kindly.
Okay, we need reposition. Moira died early here. So let's see what everyone starts doing now that we're down Moira. So this is where that beat would have came in really, really big. If we didn't use the last fight, for example, then they could be using beat to have a winning chance still in the fight that we don't have our Moira. But yeah, you know. All right, I don't think it's truthfully this guy, but I'm gonna watch one more fight.
This will heal you.
It's a good pressure by that Reaper on upper. Good teleport. This McCree is really, really hard frontlining right now. And he's using his combat role very, very aggressively all the time, kind of rolling into the enemy team. I don't think this is a GM play. I'm gonna go onto the Reaper. Sam looks good so far. Decent Wraith usage. Does he hear the Reaper wraithing behind him? What is he gonna turn around for? Hey, he actually did. Cool. If I knew a Reaper had no Wraith behind me, I'd turn to go secure the kill 100% of the time. So I like that actually. Okay, is he gonna grab the Mega? He almost missed. They almost missed it. That's actually kind of funny. Okay. That Moira's crouch spamming, that's like usually a sign of like a higher elo player typically. So be curious to check them out later. Well, the movement of this player. So this is something that I would notice myself. If I were like coaching someone on Reaper, which I do a lot of private one-on-one Reaper coaching a lot of the time, and this like close engagement here, after you get this kill, cross spamming doesn't really do anything against the Moira, right? It doesn't really have to aim too much, but it does something against the Lucio. Would you want to jump against someone that has to do like shoot a projectile? Even though it's close technically, it's easier for him to headshot you if he knows the arc of your body by jumping, right? And how your body's gonna move.
Tell me how this feels.
So would you be jump spamming in this fight or crouch spamming like the Moira is doing? He's using the wrong movement ability. So if it's a GM DPS player, I wouldn't say Reaper is probably their, you know, normal hero. Okay, big thing on Reaper is making sure that you have your Wraith when you go get into a fight. So if he were coming back quick right now, if he were to use his Wraith and then TP, he'd be getting in the fight way before his Wraith would be off cooldown, and then he would have to play a way slower than normal. And that's not really a good thing to typically use your TP off spawn when they're like very, very close, unless you literally have to use it to touch. So with that logic, and coming out left side, because left side, it makes sense if you're going for this TP, right? But if we know that they're taking this fight here, let's say we know we're already losing the fight, like we died early, we're losing the fight, wouldn't it make more sense to take top right high ground and it'd be it? Because then if we get pressured out, right, from upper, we can drop towards the cover and stuff. If we get pressured out here, then we have to rotate all the way across. Most people wouldn't be coming out left side at this point. Most people would go right side and stage a flank like that. Or you could stage a flank, for example, coming out right, TPing back like this. Then you can use this to get onto someone really, really quick. And that'd be a better use of abilities because you won't have to use Wraith. Don't use Wraith, TP, get in the fight, try to get a pick onto the backline once cars push up a little bit further forward, try to bop someone and drop. So, well, we'll keep watching the Reaper a bit, so just want to be sure. See what they do with this flank. So it initiates before Wraith, right? You get bullied for that quite often. That's like something I'd be looking out for if I was like trying to coach this player. Okay, popping Wraith off spawn. But this Wraith off spawn, does this make more sense because they're about to push the card in and you really drastically want to get there quicker? Yeah, it does make more sense. But when it's that far back and you know you're going to get another touch, that's where it's not like necessary. I'm gonna watch the Reaper just a little bit more since it's such a long VOD. Okay, shooting shield. Using Wraith aggressively and starting the front line with no Wraith. The Wraith users of this player definitely looks like Plat or Diamond. I don't think it's the Reaper after watching all this. We need let's move on. Let's go to the more. Okay. Fade around the wall, still playing behind Reinhardt. Seems like they have a good idea of like squeezing out DPS value on more here so far. They threw a healing orb for their Reinhardt. They realized they need to invest coal to try to keep him up. They're getting DPS value at the same time while doing so. Like good positioning so far. If Forgiving gets it wrong, does he give 5 subs? You're doing that because you're from Flass's chat, Elvin, huh? I see you. Yeah, I'll give subs if I'm wrong. 5 subs per each wrong answer. I'll take you up on it. Sure. I'm feeling pretty confident with this one so far. I think it's the more so far based off that fight. Just like how they're prioritizing squeezing out DPS value, good heal value on the Reinhardt when he's getting weak and everything. I really think it might be the more, but I want to go watch the Lucio a bit before I come to that conclusion. Because it's coming down to the support line at this point. Alright, Lucio's vibing, riding cart. I'm telling you right now, even when you're vibing on cart, typically you don't usually completely stand still. GM Lucio right there though. Alright.
No one can hide from us.
Alright, all jokes to the side. See some gameplay of him. I don't want to just see him pushing cart. Okay, they heard Shatter. He saw Ryan critical, tries to. So this is where I feel like a GM Lucio would pick this up, okay? So you're riding cart, right? Riding cart, riding cart. So, no, this is a great amp. This is great. Once the Reaper ults, a lot of people would try to help their tanks and everyone get in position to help with this Reaper ult or help that Reaper get out after his ult. So a lot of people would actually rotate to speed at the point of this Reaper ult. Especially once they're up in the fight like this. Like you see in the kill feed, 2 people died. We wouldn't be backing right now when Reaper ults on our own team. We'd be pushing forward. So that's a little weird right now. Like we'd want to go get off cart briefly, go help with that, then rotate back to cart once the fight's over and help them with the chase to get these stagger picks, then go cart. Since we're on heals the entire time, that doesn't look very much like a GM Lucio.
I am moving the payload.
Back in the mix.
So they're waiting for their more to respawn right now. This is really good. Waiting for more and beating them out. It's really good. Lucio has hope. This is hopeful, but the more it looks more hopeful to me. I want to watch them a little bit more after I see a beat drop. I want to see.
Up the tempo.
They're kind of hard frontlining when they have beat. I don't really like that personally. I don't think a GM Lucio would be that far forward looking for a beat because usually Lucios have a good sense of ult tracking, know that they would have like grab and mail here and they'd be playing further back to make sure they don't get caught in it, so then they can hit a perfectly timed beat, try to beat people off, try to amp heals, or once free or speed people out of the freeze, right? If it wasn't in the grab, for example, they didn't combo. So I don't think they're in the correct position. I'm gonna go back to watching the Moria a bit. Moria got out of the ult, DPSing a bit here. Since they didn't get caught in the grab and they hit a good call there, their team won the fight. They're the only one that didn't get grab mailed. And they're chasing?
Power of destruction. Get into position. I require assistance.
Seem like they have a good understanding of heal range on Moira. The Reinhardt, yeah, that's not a GM Reinhardt right there. I'm sorry if anyone watches this that ends up being the players. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just trying to narrow down who's the GM player. Okay. I think it's the Moira. Like, we've watched enough of this Moira. They seem like they understand how to back. They understand the heal priority, when to squeeze out DPS value. Their coalescences are great. They keep winning every single fight with their coal. I'm 100% sure it's this Moira. Like, based off what I saw in all the other characters. We're going over to the red team now. Start with Zeit. There's one GM on each team, Swamp Donk. Okay. Distancing themselves from the Reaper ult. Aim was a little shaky there. Good hook. Barriers, you know, stopped it from pulling in though. Unfortunate. Getting good shield break, getting good shield break. Trying to predict again off fire strike. I'm assuming they're shield hopping. You know, that's like a big brain thing that, you know, some high rank hogs do. Are they gonna go for the... So them going in here, I feel like they're gonna go for the flank hook off the map, like the turn, pull them off. They got caught up by the Reaper and they just missed their hook slightly. I need to watch them a little bit more. Here they go, right side. I love it. Right side's superior. They're trying to get themselves onto the backline for a squishier kill. A little bit of unnecessary self heal if you ask me. They could be using self heal right about now. If they got a better self heal off, they could technically play slow and try to hold on people to buy more like space and time for their team, I guess. A lot of people usually tend to play a little bit more passive when they're close to their ult to try to make a play. Hog ult isn't like the greatest at making plays like consistently, but it's hard to say. I don't think it's the Roadhog so far. I haven't seen any like hooking squishies actually securing kills in that like that entire minute or so I spent. Seems like they try forcing things before they even get their crosshair onto their target and they're just like off. They don't make their adjustment. They don't flick well enough onto their target, or they need to just like be patient and wait for them to walk into their like crosshair if they don't move it too much, which is like a thing that some people do, or they walk closer to make the hook easier if possible, you know. Did I see that correctly? Was he jumping with the shield up and not dropping it for a shield hop entire time? Like the hops are pointless unless you're actually dropping your shield before you hop, because then you're locking the momentum by not having your shield up when you hop. So they're not shield hopping correctly if that's what they're going for there. So we're spending a lot of time stuck in this initial choke. Most people, they don't get stuck in this initial choke. They shield hop forward, kind of get themselves onto statue, and then use the statue to kind of recharge the shield if necessary. Then they go for a harder push. So we're kind of getting stuck without getting through the initial choke right now. Okay, we need to recharge shield. You can't go for a push at 23 shield. Can't go for a push when you have no resources like that. I don't think a GM Reinhardt would be trying to force a push with no shield and then go for an aggressive pin like that. That looks like a platter diamond Reinhardt. So we're on the flank. They broke. Translocator got destroyed. What are they gonna do after that? So typically after Translocator gets destroyed, people don't kind of sit there and kind of like watch over. They go reposition, try to get in a good spot. Okay.
I'm out of here.
Translocator's really far out of the fight after all. How they tried to go into about getting that hack off. Okay, they end up hacking a Zarya. Or are they gonna place this next translocate? Are they gonna try and put it closer to the fight? They're gonna keep it here.
We're almost out of time. No slack.
Are they gonna hack Lucio off spawn and try to spawn kill? Ooh. Keep in mind we've been on summer for a bit. We're at 50 on EMP, so we're spending a lot of time, like, you know, all this downtime that they're waiting to stage a fight. Most people would be trying to farm a EMP here, especially if they're a high elo player and they're trying to carry a game, right? I feel like there's a lot of downtime here that we could be farming our EMP and trying to like get some poke damage off, and we're kind of just sitting here cloaked, getting a whole lot of nothing accomplished. I'll watch it a little bit more, but I don't think this is more based off that. Even if they hack that, right, and that'd just be for ult charge then, right? No one can like get onto them. They're very far back in their backline right now. It's not like a hack that people can follow up on. It's not a kill they can solo kill either. It's not like good value. Okay, they translocate into window. They try hacking Ryan and hack the Zarya. Dude, yeah, I don't think it's them. Okay, what about the Ash? Good reaction time on that Ghost gun. Stop that Reaper ult.
EMP activated.
EMP comes through now. They got someone low, and they preemptively know when they get someone low, they don't get greedy and go for another shot. Technically, they know once they're breaking Ellis that they go for a dynamite to secure the kill. That's a good idea. Because I've done a lot of coaching for plat, gold, diamond, ash players, even masters. Some of the people I coach don't use their dynamite enough. And this person used it pretty well so far. Like being very, very proactive with it, and I like that. No high ground on Ash. I mean, they're waiting for EMP, so being closer makes the shots actually easier there for them. Plus, they're playing more of a rush comp with Alicia Mora. Maybe they knew they had Reaper ult and they wanted to coach gun the Reaper ult away. That's all the things to kind of consider in that last fight. Yeah, they need to start backing. They're aware. Alright. Ash is a maybe. Okay? Let's move on to the Lucio now more. I think keeping the Ash as a maybe is a good thing. I want to see the other two and see what they're kind of doing.
Let's up the tempo.
You seem in need of aid. The power of destruction.
Big shatter. Are they gonna fade in and try to help follow up? Oh, they're staying card. They're staying card. They're playing it safe. Alright, so a big thing here. I want to look at the support ult charge because I think these are organized games, right? So here, if the Lucio's the one close to beat, right? Well, this is the thing. I'm not sure if they'd be discussing this. If Lucio would be close to beat, the more would fade forward and throw a heal in orb and try to farm Cole. So then you can have Cole and beat. And yes, they do throw a damage orb instead of trying to heal the Reinhardt initially when he's critical here, which is like, if they're trying to build their ult because it's overtime and everything, and they know, like, you'd want to throw a heal in orb if you saw a critical Reinhardt. It'd be just more value for you. Now they knew that GM Lucio got that. Alright, let's watch the Lucio since Lucio's beat here. Yeah, I know they're afraid of the C9. That's why they stay cart. But they still should have thrown a heal in orb technically. They didn't want to get in range to heal. Probably more value, right? Okay, that's a good beat. Good boop. I know I didn't watch the more too much on red team, but they were saying card and they threw a damage orb when they saw critical run. So I want to get a little bit more of a glimpse of both of them. Okay, Moore got a damage orb killer right off the bat. Throwing damage orb at spawn, that's a pretty big brain. I like it. But I will say I do see Plat Mortars and Diamond Mortars doing that. Okay, sitting on heals while we're in this poke phase, that's fine. Understands breaking LLS. Good amp. Most people would know that their tanks aren't going to push there, so they won't even try to squeeze out any speed boost value since we're already chilling on the corner. So the movement's actually not bad. Okay, this I need to I'm gonna go to some other two characters because I think it could be the Moira or the Junkrat. So I already rolled out the top three. Could be the Moira or Junkrat. I need to watch them really quick. We're running out of time here. Moira's out of healing. If you're out of healing typically on Moira in this situation, I'd say you're not trying to squeeze out enough DPS value. I don't think it's the Moira. I don't think it's the Moira based off that they're out of healing. I don't really ever run out of healing typically on Moira. If you're trying to squeeze the value, and if you're the GM in like a Plat or Diamond lobby especially, you're definitely DPSing a bit more. Okay, Junkrat. So your healing average on Moira around like 13 to 14k. Okay, this is really good timing of a tire since they just popped coal, so they know they're gonna hard push off that coal and they pop tire. And he ran his tire into the wall. This is hardest between these two for me, 100%. The Junkrat and the Lucio. Let's look at Lucio again really quick. Let's see what they do with this beat. Their priority sometimes for being like on heals and speed, like we talked about when they're on corners, that's not sometimes that you need speed at all. So like this is fine to be on speed, right? In case they want to chase the kill. Let's see this little speed drop. Yeah, the junk was the Ash, and that's the one that had that good dynamite throw into the window that I talked about. That's a really late beat, technically speaking. That was really late for them popping grab. I think they're trying to squeeze out the value of when they put dragon into it. But the fact is, kind of like assessing it. So if we watch the back, let's do an overhead perspective. It's kind of just like the awareness. I think this is more Plat or Diamond awareness. Based off. Just watch how the team gets split here. And they grab, and they can easily follow up on that grab, so you want to be early still. Well, in general, it's weird that the Reiner did. He also did jump before he beat it. Yes, I'm pretty sure. All right. Honestly, I think we've dissected this enough. Chat, I'm going with the tire was really good on that coalescing scene, on that push and run into the wall, the dynamite and everything. That looked more like GM mechanics to me. Like, I have no doubt. I think it's the Junkrat, and I think it's the more. Team 1 was pretty obvious if you ask me. Team 1 is the more, 100%. Let's get the little reveal going. Reiner's Diamond. Lucio's Plat. Where are you? I have no doubt in my mind. If it's already telling us that Lucio's a Plat, that Lucio should at least be Diamond. That Lucio was doing good. He is not Plat in my book, but that's not who we said was GM. So we're still in it. It's fine. It's fine. Chat, we're fucking right. Get rolled. You all thought it was the Lucio. Nope. 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 And everyone being like, why is he on the high ground? Sometimes high ground isn't everything. Sometimes being able to see people and be with your team is actually safer and more value. Gotta keep that in mind. All right. Yeah, thank you, Elohel Esports, for allowing me to do Spot the Smurf. This was actually really fun. I hope that you guys have me again at some point. Really enjoyed doing this.
Am I stupid? Like, this is pretty bad, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea.
What?
Wait, have people ever been wrong on Spot the Smurf? Or am I gonna be the first one that's wrong? All right, chat, it's Spot the Smurf time. On each team, there's gonna be one guy who's a Smurf. The rest are Plats and Diamonds. So we need to find who the GM is. That's the whole play here. And Neil Hell does it with some other people too. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept. So yeah, we'll see if we're even remotely right. More than likely, I'll be completely wrong. But that's the magic of it all, right? So let's figure it out. Let me see. I'm gonna look at movement and spawn. That's the biggest thing about figuring out who a Smurf is. You look at the movement and spawn. So let me look at their team.
Huh. Before Emon gets in too deep into his game, we're very excited to say that we have a sponsor for this video. You might be unsure of who the Smurf is, but you definitely know our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. It's your classic RPG filled with fighting, magic, gold, dragons, and what every game should have, a Bastion. It's free to play on both mobile and PC, and with 500 champions to choose from, there's quite a lot of strategy at the high end of the game. So check it out using the link in the description. There's a ton of game modes to choose from. You can even play in the arena against other players. Oh man, it wasn't me, it was my teammates. And then you can take those champions you don't like to the tavern to be sacrificed and absorbed by the ones you do like. We all know how important it is for developers to spend their time balancing the game. Raid have just released a huge balance update, tweaking over 20 champions. By signing up with the link in the description, you'll receive 50,000 silver, 50 gems, 5 mystery shards, as well as Hexweaver, a rare support champion. Just open up the inbox and bam, easy as that. And this is really cool. For those of you who sign up, there'll be a count in the description that updates live with your name. Thank you so much for Raid for sponsoring. Now, back to the video.
Okay, I haven't noticed anything yet. Let me look at the Tracer. Tracer did 3 blinks out of spawn. This is my first guess, but I'm gonna look. I gotta figure out who it is. I'm gonna look at the Tracer and see if it's the Tracer. It could be the Tracer, because Tracer. I mean, so far the aim's actually pretty good. It's like not terrible, but it's like, I don't know. Let me look at the Genji. Okay, so I'm gonna. I don't know if it's the Genji either. Let me see. Could it be the Winston? I don't think it's the Winston because I feel like the melee dive was too slow. Now, if it ends up being the Winston and whoever that if it is, and they're gonna be mad at me when I say that, but like that melee dive, like the melee combo was like way too slow for what I normally see. They didn't melee combo right there either. So for me, it's like, I don't think so. I don't think so. At that point, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But who knows? I'm gonna wait. Why am I in third? Oh God. Okay. I don't think it's. I don't think it's Zarya either. This is tough. Lucio didn't have good wall rides there initially, so okay, it's not Lucio. So let me look at the Moira.
I will rebuild you. Allow me to repair the damage.
Helden sterben nicht.
Okay, it's got to be Mr. Nut. It has to be Mr. Nut. And the reason why I say that is the Lucio was having trouble with the wall rides, which is understand. It has to be Mr. Nut. Like, it's not like the most perfect aim in the world, right? Oh, well, this is. Okay, let me look at the Genji again. Am I stupid? I don't know who it could be. Like, this is pretty bad, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea who this could be right now. Like, I legitimately don't know. I don't think it's Lucio. So it's either gonna be. So we're gonna figure out this team first. It's either gonna be the Genji or the Tracer, right? And people got it wrong on Spot the Smurf, but they always get it right. Okay, he's AFK, so he might be flaming his teammates in Spot the Smurf. So it might be the Genji. That's what he's doing. He's flaming his teammates in chat saying, heal me. Okay, this could be a GM.
I require healing.
He hit the record. Yeah, I think it might be Genji. Because the Genji's also going in for correct farming runs. So when you play Genji efficiently, right? You don't need to have the best aim on Genji, but you need to have good farming runs ability, right? His aim seems pretty good. His movement seems pretty good. He knows when to escape, and he looks like he farms his ult pretty fast. Right? Yeah, I'm gonna watch the blade. His position is fine. He keeps going up in the sky. He knows to get out immediately. And he also was typing to... What the heck is that?
I am ready.
Well, that deflex play there makes me... Let me see the blade. It's on one on each team, so I'm figuring out this team first. Bro, I don't know if it's the Genji at this. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's the Genji at this point. I need to see what his blade is. Dude, I'm bad at this. Pause champ on this blade, though. I'm gonna watch the whole game. This guy not using blade. Wait, pause champ.
This objective must be ours.
Halloween costume?
Okay, so I don't think it's Genji. I think we can definitely cancel out the Genji. At first, I thought it might have been Genji, but I don't think it's Genji. It's got to be. I'm gonna give Glemdale a quick look and see what Glemdale does. But I mean, let's see. Maybe it's Mr. Nut. I legitimately do not know who the Smurf is right now. I might be stupid or something, but like.
System reboot complete.
You know what? Maybe it's this guy. Maybe this guy is the leader that we need to see. I think it's this guy. Because I mean, I've seen Flats play like this on Zarya, and he's GM. So like, it could be that. Wait, what if Flats recorded this again? And he got a brand new account. This looks just like Flat Zarya play. Nothing seems different. Watch. And no, he's actually saving his bubbles for something. I'm gonna be real with you, chat. I have no idea. The levels don't matter, chat. Is it Moira? I just took 12 screenshots trying to get over to the fucking... Is it Moira?
Is my will. Hello.
It has to be Moira. So, y'all are saying smart reset. True, but if they were smart, they actually would have hit E to get the extra 12% or so ult charge and then jump into the water or heal while jumping off the map. They would have got a little more ult charge. It might be the Moira.
Surrender to my will. I'm going for the dogmacy.
That was a good dodge. Good right click. I think it might be Moira. I think it might be Moira. Because they're focusing on healing. And their shifts were really good. I think it's Moira.
You seem in need of aid.
My ultimate is ready.
And another thing they're doing is they're burst healing their heals there, right? So because they're burst healing their heals there, it makes me truly believe it's the Moira. Because most people don't do that. So what they're doing is they're like letting go of the heals, because that's what you're supposed to do in Moira, is you tap the heal. Right? And you see that little jiggle right there? That little wiggle? That makes me think it's Moira. I'm content with saying it's Moira. I'm content with saying it's Moira. I think it's Moira. Alright, so for team 2, we're gonna say it is Willy Boy Elite. That is who I think it is on that one. Okay? That one I think I can confirm is who the Smurf is. If it's anybody else and you're watching me right now and I play with you in ranked and GM and I think you're not GM, I played with flats on Zarya. Okay, so let's go to this side now and we're gonna figure out who this one is. Okay.
Capture the objective.
Ooh, right away I'm seeing a rollout I like to see. Rollout Randy coming out here with the Junkrat orbs. Not too bad if you ask me. I said orbs, I was testing you guys. It's been a long day. Okay, so I'm gonna... okay. Yeah, I'm gonna... Yep, okay, so I know it's not Junkrat. Okay, at the GM level, Ash already has 2 Bobs by now. So I don't think it's Ash. I don't think it's Ash, because Ash would have Bob already. Oh, yeah, okay. I don't think it's Ash. Wait a second. A Reinhardt charging behind to do the spin move charge. Huh. Where have I seen that mischarge before, chat? $60 on Shatter, 60 seconds in, or more. Where have I seen this play before, chat? I don't think this Ryan is GM. What the heck was that? But it doesn't look a lot like somebody I know right there, though. Especially the charge with 12 HP. But I'm gonna skip by that for now. They wouldn't hit me with double 2 support players. They wouldn't try to trick me with 2 support players. Would they? Wait, would they? Let's watch Mercy.
Healing stream engaged. You should be at peak performance level.
Super jump. 2 super jumps. Okay, so I can confirm it's not Anna. So process of elimination is it's not Anna. So, unless that nade hits. Okay, so it's not Anna. I don't know, like, it might be Mercy. It might be more.
I'm taking care of him.
I don't think it's Anna. I mean, I'll give Anna a shot.
I see. You're going to live.
Okay, so it's not Anna. I'm gonna give this DPS player one more shot. Nice nade, though. Holy crap. Okay, not Genji.
Meteor strike. Goodbye.
Not Doomfist. I think it might be Mercy. I think it's gonna be Mercy, and it's gonna be the Moira. Wait, have people ever been wrong on Spot the Smurf, or am I gonna be the first one that's wrong all the time? All right, you know what? My gut said that it's Mercy and Moira. There's a small chance it could be the Genji because the Genji was good at like their positioning. It was just like their aim in between was a little bit off. I think it's Willy Boy, and I think it's possible. Do I do it, Chad? Do I commit to those? Sounds good? All right. Let's see. Let's see if I was right or wrong, chat. We're committing. You ready? So hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. So that was flats. So we know that. That was flats. Okay. First of all, so wait, who's Glemdale? Who are these? Who's the GM players? Who are they? I got the Mercy right, and the Moira was Diamond, and we were right about flats, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, okay? Listen, I tried, chat, okay? I tried. And that's what matters, okay? Listen, I don't, like, how am I even supposed to know what I was watching? You guys can't blame. Like, what did I miss about him that was GM? Let me look. I'm actually curious for a second. Like, where did I go wrong? Is there like any way I could have guessed this? Like, real talk, is there any way I could have guessed this? I'm gonna go PP very quickly. I'll be right back 1 second. You guys keep watching for a second. You tell me. I guess I should have. That was a better melee combo. Combos are good. Wait, but like Flats, do you do the thing on Winston where you can like I'm just curious, like maybe they changed it. Let me look. One second. Let me try something. You can do a melee where it doesn't even show the animation. Like I just did it right there, but you can do a thing where you like don't show your animation. Okay. There you go. Anyway. Well, I was wrong. Chat, I you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong for Spot the Smurf. But like it was tough. Maybe I should have looked for like you said, like splitting the heels and things like that. Bro, I just lost in Spot the Smurf.
What? Are you the only one to ever lose?
Fran,
in Spot the Smurf?
That you literally told me you watched the video before you did yours and knew exactly who it was. By NBA 2K, thank you for the 10 months. You gotta understand what they gave. The one team was a Mercy, which I got right because she was super jumping. The other team gave me a flats equivalent Roadhog. And sorry.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a tough
one.
So
I got that one wrong because I thought it was the Moira. Like.
Oh, and then you mix a Moira in there? Yeah, there's just no way.
I thought the Moira was GM.
There's just no way.
Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just what you're doing. Oh my god, it's huge! Oh no! Kill! Let's go.
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot. No way, dude. Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then two captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
shatter. Let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%. Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly. Oh, and asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact se escucha debajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
Well, welcome back, my friends, to Contenders Trials North America. We are here with our second match of the evening. Big props to Big Hungry Phil and Gunther for rocking that first match. Now, you've got me, Bull Skunk, alongside Chef Billy, as we're here with our second series. In our first day of Trials North America, the last chance for people to get into the final month of Contenders and get their names in front of those Owl Scouts. You know, maybe not very likely for a Trials team. You might be thinking, hey, they're probably looking at teams like American Tornado, but you know, you get into trials and you put up a good showing against a team like that, and you're going to turn some heads. You're going to get your name written down on some scouting sheets. And it's all going to start right here, right now, on our first day.
Well, you know, we're going to be seeing Hour Zero versus QARA, and you and I had the pleasure of casting both these teams. Of course, QARA rebranding from Lunaris, but you know, we had a lot of fun watching Hour Zero play in the Trial of Champions, also in the Open Division before they actually got to the Trial of Champions. So we are looking at the lineups here. My Crazy Cat has an absolutely nutty Reaper. We all know that. We know that he can get in your backline and drop a Blossom like you would not believe. I really want to put some emphasis also onto Aramori, one of only 4 females in the Contenders Trials and the entire Contenders landscape. So big props to her, and definitely looking for her to really shine with the Moira. Also known to pull the Zen out if they're feeling it. So looking at QARA, what I'm looking for Cabe. I want to see Cabe's hit scan come to life. Also Anhu, you know, back when the Genji was really running so well, we saw him get a lot of damage done, a lot of hard work put in on the Genji. So we'll see what they bring out today. And also Madero, one of the standbys, the stalwarts here in the Contenders scene, shoring up the team of QARA. So it's going to be an interesting match. I'm very excited to see where we go.
And Anhu, you know, kind of took a little vacation for a little while from this team, was out exploring other options. I know QARA is so happy to welcome him back onto this squad, excited to get him back in the mix and make a good run here at Trials. But they're going to have a very tough opponent to start things out. Hour Zero have done an absolute tear, taking first place in Open Division, taking first place in Trial of Champions, and not just taking first place, but in such dominating fashion that they didn't drop a single map for the final 4 games of that tournament, currently on a 13 map win streak, only dropping 4 maps in all of Trial of Champions.
You know, and even when they have the mirror go up against them with our, you know, crazy meta that's going on with the Blackout DPS that you call them, with the Somber Reaper and the Winston Diva or the Winston Zarya, I mean, you came up with it. So, I mean, of course it's a good name. No, but really, I mean, when you see teams try to mirror what comes into that, they just absolutely wipe the floor with them. And actually, the only loss that they actually took was in the Trial of Champions against the team that we were supposed to cast here before, which was going to be, Delta Phoenix and Taku. Yeah, Delta Phoenix was actually the last team that beat them. And that's because they decided they wanted to trial in the middle of it a spam comp. And they ended up losing the entire series.
Yep. Funny enough, that's where Cabe comes from. So, you know, Kaba, formerly Lunaris, saw the potential of that hitscan player, brought him over, and is now might be the one to take the first map off of Hour Zero in 5 games. As we take a look at our map pool here for today, these are fixed maps. And starting off on Ilios, headed to Greece. Billy, I love this map.
You and I both. I mean, we all love the well because you want to see people, you know, go down into the well. And I've always asked myself the question, does the well go into another part of Ilios or not? Does it, you know, kind of portal you somewhere and you actually end up on another map, either in the ruins or at the lighthouse? I'm not sure. But, you know, it's going to be a battle of not only the DPS, but also the tanks. Who's going to be able to create the space across all 3 maps? You know, it just depends on where we go first. And that's really going to depend on what the tank line is going to be, dependent upon that map. Also, you have a chance to bring a Widowmaker out here if you go into ruins. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to come up from them. We just need to get into the map and get it on.
Well, just given by the image, I think I like to imagine the bottom of the well feeds into Volskaya, like you just fall out of the sky of Russia and just land on Volskaya. But speaking of, well, maps like this and Ilios in general, well, I don't think it's going to lend itself very well to that blackout composition, and certainly not Ruins, which is where we're going to start off. Although you could get a little more rush down on this, but Hour Zero have been really practiced at this Somber Reaper composition, and this could be just the spot for QARA to start off strong and take an early map as we get our second game of Trials Day 1 underway.
Absolutely, and we're looking at possibility of a double shield. Never know how that could work out, but we do know what Hour Zero likes to run, and they do love running this rushdown comp. And Tensa and Aramori is going to be keeping them up as they come out the gates now. We are going to see the double shield come out from QARA. We're also going to see a Brig Zen support line, so you're looking for damage and a little bit of CC ability as well. And K bringing out the Cowboy, so you're going to have the flashbang there as well.
The Brig's so good at handling the Reaper, not allowing that Reaper to get close to your tanks, and more importantly, your other support. As QARA going across bridge to start things off, flashbang and an early DMAC, and Salty is going to be forced to run around on those pilot legs, gets taken out shortly thereafter. Bush is right out of the gate, falls on the kill onto MCC. 2 quick picks here for QARA to start things off. They do lose their Zenyatta, but with the Reaper gone and Salty out of there, QARA will get first control.
Hola.
A couple of quick technical issues here on our end as I've lost my feed here, Bullskunk, and I'm not sure what to think about that.
I think the stream just fell into the well. We're taking a quick look into that void, but it's all right. It won't last long. We're right back here. QARA's still in control, but not for long, as Hour Zero's going to come up with 4 nice picks. Tensa sending Cabe into the beautiful waters of Greece. Hour Zero going to flip this point.
I mean, you're getting to 41%, so that's not a bad first aggression there for QARA. Looking at ultimates coming up online, Anhu is going to have an EMP to go ahead and take the aggression into Hour Zero, but Aramori, you've got the aggressive Moria player here. She might decide to deploy the Coalescence early if they feel like they can get away with it.
Anhu going in. Here comes the EMP. It's out. It's going to find 4, but MCC takes Anhu out of the fight before any other kills come through. The rest of QARA trying to swarm in and take advantage of it, but just as you anticipated, Aramori with the beautiful Coalescence coupled with some more shotgun blasts makes short work of QARA and that EMP.
And that is something else that MCC will do. Will absolutely teleport into the back line and secure kills to make sure that everything goes just as they want it. Now you've got EMP Blossom, you've got EMP Primal Rage if you need to stall, but also you've got the supercharger available from Skiz, and the rally is going to come out from Neptune and really buff up the team. They might be able to get some aggression going in here.
Gonna keep an eye on Maxwell and that return EMP as it's gonna come out now. Orchid is not affected, gets the trans out, but it's no match for My Crazy Cat's Death Blossom. 2 quick kills, devaluing a supercharger along the way. Big fight winning ultimate gone for QARA, and so are the rest of their reinforcements.
Oh, and here's the big thing that you want to look at for the side of Hour Zero. You've got self-destruct, so you can zone with it, you can kill with it. Tensa's going to have the sound barrier available, so you're going to be able to beef up the health bars of your team as you see this aggression coming in. We're really approaching last fight territory if QARA don't flip it here.
Yeah, Anhu onto the Tracer. Specs with the first ultimate to come online for QARA here as they make their final opportunity to try to take this point, but they've already lost Anhu along the way. Kate's going to take down Tensa. Specs gets one with the Gravitic Flux, trying to turn this thing around. +1 to QARA as they try to push on to the point. Overtime Wick is a burden. They're going to have to be perfect from here on out. Cade has got him in his sights. Not quite able to pick up one, but Maxwell does go down eventually. A little help from Shiz, and a flip comes through. QARA 45% and counting.
That's a pretty providential pick for Skiz to really get off of the Orisa and bring the Winston into here. So coming up next, you've got Maxwell and Crazy Cat coming up on their ultimates, but Cave is going to have a Deadeye, so, not much to shield against it. Salty's going to have to be very aware of where Cave is at, otherwise he could get quite a bit of pick off there.
Could indeed. Let me see. Anhu put pressure on Salty as we speak. But that 600 health pull not going anywhere anytime soon, at least not with some reinforcements. And the reinforcements show up. Pulse Bomb goes in, takes down Tenza. Other support gone as well. Anhu with 2 kills in that, helping QARA maintain control.
Talk about a cheap fight. I mean, that was one ultimate, and you got not only the DMEC, you got a support as well. So very nice economy there. And you've got 4 ultimates to hold the point here. Last fight territory, absolutely. Maxwell does have the EMP, though. He might be wanting to hold this off for My Crazy Cat's Death Blossom.
Deadeye is going to get interrupted. Orchid once again hides from the EMP, able to get the Transcendence out. And this time, Anhu comes in and takes down Aramori. No more heals there, but the Death Blossom is out, and Anhu falls. It's +1 to Hour Zero, 5-4. Final fight, 99-99 in our opening round. Just is going to drop that Primal Rage and just trying to batter everybody off the point, but cannot make it back themselves. Hour Zero will take the opening round.
That was extremely close, Bull Skunk, and I mean, they could have touched their cave there on the McCree. Really should have, at least dropped down and made a touch. You had the roll that you could have avoided the incoming D.Va with. But I mean, it is what it is. So we go now to my favorite map of the set here. And will we see any environmental kills coming out? I mean, Neptune and Tensa both are going to be available to do that. Also, Vita coming in and Skiz with the halt. There could be many boops going on here. It just depends on the positioning.
There are a lot of potential, that's for sure. We have a double shield coming out once again from QARA. Hour Zero sticking with the Somber Reaper Blackout composition. Making their way through the gazebo, through Cage, and then trying to put early pressure down. They've got that Lucio, they've got that extra speed, and they're taking full advantage of it. But QARA, they're just sitting up on that high ground. They're going to be difficult to dislodge.
Not if you're My Crazy Cat and you take a quick assassination of Cabe.
What else means Hour Zero has a lot more point presence. QARA's going to have to jump down off their safety, eventually get down off the high chair. Well, either that or Vita's just going to jump right up there and greet him. Burning down Specs, who's going on awfully low. Healor, there's no way that's going to be enough to keep him alive. No, Crazy Cat with the final blow takes Specs out of the fight. QARA's done a good job of denying Hour Zero the point thus far, but I can't imagine that's going to last much longer, really, especially with MCC coming up with yet another pick, now looking to burn down the Eraser.
I mean, there goes the Pulse Bomb out from An, who does not find anything, and Neptune gets yeeted into the well, so down you go. Nice point presence there. They finally get the cap to it, crossing 10% now. Aramori got a very early coalescence. I didn't see that much damage coming out from QARA, though, so, apparently more was going off on the side that we didn't see, but Skiz has the supercharger. That could be a nice aggression tool to get them onto the point and really start working stuff out.
Going back up to the same direction. QARA passing to that high ground. This time, Skiz immediately dropping low. Throwing out that supercharger. Comes the coalescence from the other side. Maxwell deals with the bongos. And sound barriers invested from Hour Zero as they try to push in and finish off this fight. Okay, dropping the Deadeye. Cannot find any targets. And the EMP comes out the other way. That's a 5-man EMP. Vita's going to throw down the Primal Rage, go in to batter the members of QARA who are stuck inside the cage. Transcendence, the Rally, as well as a Gravitic Flux thrown in. QARA are not going down without a fight, but they are struggling to confirm any kills here, Billy.
Yeah, and I think that, it's just a matter of focus. I mean, they're just being battered around. You dealt with the Primal Rage the best you could. What a boot from Tensa, putting Skiz into the well. My goodness, that is some serious sustain coming out from them, too. I think that's really the difference right now, is that the sustain of Hour Zero is outproducing what Neptune and Orchid are doing for QARA. I mean, you've got to really up the sustain. Otherwise, it's going to be short fights or an extended fight if Hour Zero decide to employ it.
One last try for QARA to make something happen here on our first map. Cabe on the Soldier. Skiz has gone over to the Winston. But they got a coalescence they're running right into two. MCC's in the back. He's got the Death Blossom. He's got Fade out of the way, and here comes the spinning, but he's stunned out of it. Beautiful play from Neptune. Orchid does throw down the Transcendence. We're at 99. Somebody's get out of the point and touch. They do. Overtime Wick starting to burn as Cave and MCC both find a pick. but Black Crazy Cat finds another. Now looking to hunt down the Sigma. No more kinetic grasp. Does take a rock, but is only momentarily phased before returning fire with the Hellfire shotguns. And now there's just a lone Tracer left on the point, holding this thing off. But QARA did manage to get the flip in. I'm afraid it's going to be a short-lived victory, though.
Oh, yeah, it's just clean up from here. I mean, you've got also, you know, the EMP. Should Maxwell decide to need to employ it and just take care of everybody here all at once.
Yeah, Spect back on the wrecking ball. Last-ditch effort. Never give up, never surrender, and I respect that. But our 0, too big a mountain for QARA to climb just yet. They are still trying to trickle onto this objective. So he's going to return with the Primal Rage, but there's an EMP and a Death Blossom awaiting him on point. And our 0 take our first map and continue their map win streak.
I mean, that's pretty impressive, Bullskog. I mean, it's what we've been watching for about the past month here from our 0 across Open Division and then Trial of Champions. Boy, when they bring it out, they have their foot on the accelerator. The sustain is there. The lethality of the DPS. I think that the manual hacks that come out from Maxwell really, you know, I don't think that they had enough to get in there. You know, I think that, you know, bringing Anhu on the Tracer, you know, you've got to get in there and get those assassinations. You've got to get those sticks. We saw a couple of really good sticks, but I think that the sustain for QARA just wasn't there. And our 0, I mean, Aramori and Tensa, they are running like a finely tuned engine. If one isn't there, the other is picking up the slack. If the coalescence that have been gained so quickly by Aramori, you know, keeping the team up through the mid fight, and then you're just looking at Tensa. Tensa not only getting value with the healing and the speeding in, but also getting some environmental kills as well, or booping the teams back into the damage that they're trying to escape from. So you watch the periphery and you see Tensa just absolutely hounding them like a little shepherd dog that's nipping at their heels. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. So that's 1-0 to our 0. Next map's going to be Volskaya.
Yeah, we will head to Russia for map number 2. See if QARA can answer back, get rid of that goose egg in the map score. I don't know if the double shield's the way to go. In recent times, and I'm thinking the Korean contenders, you know, we see the Brig and the Zed, but we see it alongside a Wrecking Ball and a Diva, something that's got very high mobility, can escape the threats that are coming at them. The double shield just a little too stagnant. Even when they tried to take high ground, our 0 was able to just pounce on them, divide and conquer, and seemingly had no answer. And just like you said, not enough sustain to deal with the EMPs and the Hellfire shotguns.
If you would have thrown a Lucio into that Bullskunk, that would have been a lot better. You would have been able to be, you would have been able to at least navigate around a little bit quicker, because Orisa just wants to bunker down and sit behind her shield and, you know, just stay there and absorb the damage coming in. So yeah.
Well, it looks like we are going to get a bit of a side swap. Our 0 choosing to go on the offense, or we'll go on the offense, should I say. You know, this is always the debate, right? Do you want to come out and set a massive time and try to get in the heads of your opponents by going on the attack first, or do you want to go on the defense first? It's an argument as old as time, well, at least as old as our casting bill.
I mean, sure. You and I have argued across our partnership as casters together. I have always been of the mind that I want to see what I have to match. So I always generally like to choose the defense first, but, you know, our 0, I think they're trying to get the mental game going already. We saw it happen in Trial of Champions especially. They would go on the attack every single time because they want to put the benchmark up to the team that's coming in. So looking at the defense from QARA coming in, you were looking at Cabe on the Ashe, so you're going to have the damage boost from Neptune there. Orchid there with the Discord Orbs, plus a lot of damage coming in. It's going to burst down Vita's shield quickly if Salty isn't able to get into it. And who's going to have to be the nuisance that keeps them on their toes. And Skiz, I mean, Skiz is going to have to really create some serious chaos in the back line. Otherwise, this is going to be a quick flip there for our 0.
I will say this defense not going to be nearly as easy to pounce upon as the double shield we saw on map 1, but our 0 have just shown exceptional coordination and mastery over this composition. I wouldn't put anything past them as they path around through the right side and are immediately looking to go take high ground, draw first blood of Volskaya, turning the snow red, well, or should I say oily colored, as Orchid just gets dismantled by the Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the work is being done, and you know they camp the body too, so that's going to be a slow retreat back to the point here. So my Crazy Cat, look at all the the resources just being pumped into him, and I mean, they're just going to clean this up in too sweet time.
Yeah, he's looking for those big bodies, the big health pools. Those giant hitboxes just feed him so much health and so much ult charge. My Crazy Cat doing work, and it's just cleanup from here. And our Zero will head to point B with a very healthy time bank.
Healthy? That's an understatement right now. Look at the stagger coming out of Specs. I mean, do you really need? Because I mean, they're going to have the respawn advantage anyways. I mean, that's once again, it's the mental that our Zero tries to put against the teams that they go against. But you know, they do have Valkyrie coming up online. We're looking for Cave to get Bob, because Bob is going to have to stop the aggression coming in. But My Crazy Cat and Maxwell, they're getting close to ultimates right now. Aramori might go with one of those very aggressive coalescences once again.
QARA's in a dangerous spot here. They need a couple of quick picks, and they need them to happen now and shut down this attack. Otherwise, these ults are going to get out of hand very quickly. Valkyrie's early from Neptune. The big Omnic Butler is available. Orchid, once again, the first to fall in the fight. Not able to build with the rest. Okay, Res is available. Maybe he can get that Transcendence up. That could be the fight winner, but they got to get it up quick. Sound Barrier out. Death Blossom comes in. Norkin goes down yet again. Cave throws in the bomb with a 5v4 count in the Butler, but there's an EMP out. That's going to dismantle Bob and take away all of the abilities from the remaining members of QARA left on this point. Neptune gets burned down, and now you just have 2 tanks and a Tracer left trying to hold this point. 1 tick of permanent progress already picked up here.
But I mean, I look at Vita right there, deciding to wait and hold the Primal Rage until the Transcendence is out. That's a good pick, though. Specs taking Maxwell down. That's going to stop the manual hacks from coming in, so they might be able to stabilize, because there's no points of permanent progress that was gained there. And that's a fight win, and really should be a confidence booster for QARA.
That was a huge fight win for QARA. That was looking very dangerous, and even despite the early losses, managed to weather the storm. But our Zero, they're going to strike back, and they're going to strike back really fast. Coming up on that Coalescence, it will be the tool to engage, and Vita, like you said, so disciplined, still holding that Primal Rage. There goes the Coalescence, and it's go time. On to the point, Bubbles out as they search for targets to try to burn down. Skids was in dangerous territory, popped out, forced to use that Primal Rage early. Look at those health bars, though. QARA all looking so damaged, so wounded. And our Zero quite healthy. I say that. Vita's getting focused down and is forced to go ahead and use that Primal finally. But there's another EMP, and here come the kills. Filthy lighting up green. Oh, poor Specs just battered 20 miles away into the icy waters, and there's the progress. 2 ticks already on the board. Crazy Cat coming up with another Death Blossom, doesn't even need it. 3 minutes and 17 seconds left in the time bank, 2 points on the board.
The battle of attrition was very real there, Bull Skunk. I mean, even though they didn't get on their first and second attempts, the soft resets that we saw from Arizona, they never felt like they needed to get a full hard reset. They still kept nipping at the heels of QARA on the defense. And, you know, we saw Cave switch over to the Sombra to mirror what Maxwell was bringing out. And that's why we saw the fight kind of turn a little bit. But My Crazy Cat, Maxwell, Vita, especially on the Winston, holding that Primal Rage so long, that was the fight winner. The Coalescence from Aramori, once again, was absolutely perfectly timed. And now we're going to see what QARA can do on their own offense. And, I mean, I don't think we'll see anything different from our Zero here. They're going to bring out that rush down comp again with the Blackout DPS. My Crazy Cat and Maxwell really shouldering the team again, Bull Skunk. And we see, you know, all the value that they get. This is why they're such a potent team. I would be expecting to see them in the last iteration of Contenders proper. If they continue playing like this, I don't know if anybody really can stop them until you get to that next upper echelon of talent.
You know, it's early in the week, Billy. It's early in the week, but given by the performance so far, I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you for sure. And one of the reasons is just that excellent discipline. A lot of times when we see somebody holding their ults that long, you're thinking indecisiveness, but that was that difference we saw there with Vita. That was pure discipline as they head back onto the defense with the same composition.
You do see Anhu bringing out a different look here. We're going with the Sombra Echo composition coming out. And I actually like this because the focusing beam can take down not only shields, but the half HP targets. That's going to be something that we need to be looking at, is what kind of damage are they getting in with the sticky bumps, but also the focusing beam when a player goes below half health.
Yeah, this is shades of the WGS Phoenix comp that won Korean Contenders not too long back. Except they used a Tracer instead of the Sombra. We'll see if the difference in DPS can be the difference maker. Anu is in dangerous territory, and speaking of, so are their supports. Immediately focused down. Oh my goodness, Hour Zero are just absolutely vicious. Their health bars are very low. They do such a good job of putting just the right amount of pressure, and, well, knocking Specs into the water for the second time this map, and then peeling back and finding the healing coming out from Tensa and Aramori.
The European off tank there must be very clean by now, because that's very bracing cold waters here in Russia. But looking at ultimate economy, Aramori's going to have a very fast coalescence once again. But what we're looking for is Cabe to engage with this EMP that's coming up online. What are they going to pair with it?
Well, and more importantly, how are Hour Zero going to defend against Maxwell? Caught out early. This is just the opening Far's looking for. AMP's out. That's going to catch the supports, and Armor immediately goes down. Vita falls. Tensa is going to be the next in the line as My Crazy Cat is stuck in a corner against the duplicated Anhu. And QARA, they're showing some real signs of life as they take first point.
I take Anhu difference right there. I think Anhu, using the sticky bombs, the escapability, getting into the air, just creating havoc in the backline of Hour Zero. They never saw him coming, and the manual hacks coming out of Cabe, absolutely getting the job done. But you have both tank ultimates coming up online. They might have a chance to really press the advantage here and maybe get a better time than Hour Zero.
It is possible. Definitely a couple of good ultimates, but they're running into an EMP as well as a Death Blossom, and this DPS duo of Hour Zero seem just so potent and very, very good with their ultimates. They were hiding down in the mega.
That's
room.
2 ticks.
Yeah, just giving up 2 ticks for free. I took the words out of my mouth. Maxwell does eventually drop the EMP, but it doesn't find very much, and furthermore, there's... Well, I was going to say not a whole lot of follow-up, but it may have been just enough. Taking the DPS out of the fight, Hour Zero will stabilize.
I'm not exactly sure what the rotation was there and if they even realized that the progress was being made. I'm sure they were. But, I mean, that was very sketchy, to say the least. What we're looking at now, Tensa's going to have to hold this sound barrier that he's now got for the next EMP that Cabe's going to get. Cabe is getting some serious work done on this, and Specs is out of mech, or Salty's out of mech.
Right now, QARA is just lying in wait. They know they've got the advantage. They're trying to decide the best way to push in, perhaps build up the rest of Cabe's EMP. Oh, there you go. Take Maxwell out of the fight. Beautiful play from Orchid to start things off. Taking the elevator. Death Blossom in the back, but Sindits comes out, not allowing any kills from My Crazy Cat. Now the Discord Orb thrown on to Vita. Got damage orbs to boost. Vita goes down. Attention now turned onto Salty. Discord deleted. Tensa gone. And QARA may have just equalized here. They are 97.9%. Time banks almost identical. Self-destruct out to try to clean the rest of the point. Bubble thrown over the top of it, but Vita taken down. And there's only 10 seconds separating these two teams.
Looking at Anhu, once again, the work being done by the Echo player for QARA cannot be understated. Also, the manual hacks, once again, coming in from Cabe. Absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, we're going to overtime. We always love bonus Overwatch here in Contenders Trials, and I really want to see how are they going to defend, because that defense, that Hour Zero, it looked a little bit like Swiss cheese. Gotta say, it was a little bit holy, and I don't think that they took it that serious. And the real head scratcher for me, Bull Skunk, is why did they stay in the small mega room for so long when the progress was being made? I thought that maybe one person could have peeled off and at least contested the point, because they gave up almost 2.5 points of permanent progress for free.
They were sitting in there drawing up plans, figuring out the best strategy, and while they're having a little powwow on the mega, QARA just walked onto the point and said, "Thank you very much. I'll take these 2 ticks."
I want to point out Orchid too. Orchid's positioning and also the assassination ability, taking out Maxwell twice. with the orbs. Hello? I'm very happy with that.
Absolutely, especially after going down first on the defense. Orchid finally starting to find their rhythm. Car's going to need that to continue if they want to tie up this series.
Absolutely, but we're going to see Zero really pull themselves together here. I mean, this is go time for them. This is where they wanted to be. They said, the people didn't take them serious at first. Well, now they're definitely taking them serious. So, it's time to knuckle up and get it done.
Zero sitting inside the center box again with this interesting strategy. They play like a wolf spider. Like, I'm just going to hide in my den, wait for you to get close, and then pounce out with all of my ferocity. Trying to dive up onto the high ground. Is QARA patient? They're not running right into the trap. They kind of force them out, funnel them over to the other side, and then just push onto the objective. Now they have point presence. It's up to Zero to take it back. Since it's coming in to try to stall out the objective, while the rest of the team looks for kills, maintain battle on the side. Vita doesn't want any part of it. Tries diving into the back, but is still just eating a lot of damage. And there's over 50% of progress already attained by QARA. Now they just kite off into the mega room. Zero follow him in and drop a coalescence, hoping to chase him out. But QARA are just too elusive. They get out of there at a moment's notice.
And what the real factor is right now is Anhu getting in the air, landing the sticky bombs, absolutely destroying what Zero is trying to run into them.
Oh, and then now's the EMP on who has the duplicate onto the Reaper. Oh, but goes down, gets booped off to the side. You can't fly if you're in Reaper form. That duplicate falling to waste. Tensa might have just saved this point for Zero.
Oh, and he's going to have a sound barrier as well. So, you're going to have that to keep the team beefy and strong. They've already guaranteed that we're not going to have a draw here. So, I mean, it's all to play for here. Do you get this full point if you're QARA, or does Zero stop them at 79%? Last fight coming up right now.
It's going to be Specs touching the point. Got my Crazy Cat just sitting back in the corner. Doesn't want to get too close. So the sound barrier comes out. That's the cue to go. Crazy Cat going ahead. Has the Death Blossom. Not going to use it just yet. Wisely waits for the Transcendence to go away. He's going to burn him down just with the left mouse button. And now teleports up to the top. He's going to fall in from above. Tornado Sirens sounding off on Volskaya. And Zero will plant their feet and not allow that third point.
Ooh, it started off with the sound barrier from Tensa. Tensa gave them the ability to really engage. My Crazy Cat, once again, showing that extra level of knowledge there, knowing, they probably have the Transcendence. So as soon as he saw Orchid aggressing onto the point there, he knew that he had Transcendence. He went ahead and just shadow stepped out of the way, waited for it to come out, did another quick teleport on top of them, and got the damage needed to really push them off the point. I thought that Neptune was going to be able to take him out, but I mean, just once again, another fantastic amount of healing coming out of Aramori. Man, that was close, Bullskunk. I thought we were going to go to point B again, but here we go. QARA coming out on the defense. Cabe looks like he's going to lock in the legs here.
Bringing Soldier 76 along with the rest of the same composition that has worked fairly well for QARA so far on Volskaya. Soldier, of course, can just sit back on that high ground and rain down that newly enlarged clip of 30. With 6 seconds on the Helix rockets, Soldier can put out a lot of damage indeed.
Yeah, and Vita's shield is not going to hold up very well to that. So you're going to be looking to see if Maxwell can get in there and get a manual hack, maybe get a hack onto Skids and get a quick assassination. But you've got to be still watching out for Anhu, because Anhu on this Echo has absolutely flipped the script of what we thought was going to happen here with Zero being so dominant on the first map.
Yeah, Zero definitely giving him a lot more respect. You could tell just by the push and pull we saw on our last map. Here we go. Zero just need 79.4%. Maxwell scouting through the far left-hand side of the point, while the bulk of the team is going to push up together, grab this high ground, dislodge anybody who may be up here. They don't find Orchid waiting for him this time, as QARA seems to have learned from their mistakes rather quickly. And now are just kiting all the way, taking a little bit of a high ground and a little bit around the other side of the box. The rest of the team moves into the mega room. QARA gets split in half. Zero sense it and then push and divide and conquer and find 2 picks right out of the gate. Now, it Specs the next on the victim list. oh so low in health. Hour Zero just to run inside, run back to the point, get the progress. They've got 70. They just need about 7% more to take map number 2. Crazy Cat close to that Death Blossom. He's gonna try to burn down Skids. At least runs the Wrecking Ball off. Cape does come in and take out the Reaper, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. 1 by 1, QARA losing reinforcements, and Hour Zero take map 2. And a 2-0 lead in our series.
You know, and what took that right there, Bullskunk, was Salty being on Anhu, on that Echo, and absolutely getting in their face, denying the sticky bombs, denying the normal shots that come in from the normal fire, left click fire from Anhu. So, man, I thought it was going to flip once again. I thought that they still had the chance to get back onto the point, but, you know, Arizona just pushed them right off. Man, this is going a lot closer than I expected it to be.
It certainly is. It was a beautiful dance. And you can see just the way the two teams rotated around each other, the dance around each other. But it's Hour Zero leading that dance right now. We're going to take a quick break for the half. When we come back, we'll see if Hour Zero can keep up their map win streak or if QARA can get rid of that 0 in their map score. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just oh my god, it's huge! Oh, kill! Let's go.
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot. No way, dude. Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play. Then 2 captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Hour Zero up 2-0 here at the halftime against QARA. Day 1 of our Contenders trials. Currently on a 15-map win streak, looking to keep that going and close out this series as we head to sunny California. Hollywood will be our hybrid map this evening.
Yeah, and Anhu really put a wrinkle into this match, bringing the Echo out, and I'm wondering if Hour Zero has assessed the threat and has figured out a composition that will deal with it, or if they're just going to put more pressure in the sky on Anhu. Because honestly, full sky, it could have gone either way. It came down to the last couple of seconds there in the attack phase in the overtime for Hour Zero. So Hollywood is going to be our next match, and we will see Hour Zero on the defense. So QARA, they're going to have to come out with some serious aggression, some coordinated aggression, and really take it to Hour Zero in a slow, methodical way. I think that Cabe getting a manual hack onto one of the main tank or one of the tanks should be priority number 1, especially if you're running if they're going to continue to run this Winston, taking the ability for him to escape and throw the bubble down. I think that's got to be your first one. Other than that, or throw it onto Salty and take the defense matrix away. I think that if you addressed one of those two, I think that's a good start for them. But I mean, it all depends on what Hour Zero is going to bring out on the defense. And we saw what My Crazy Cat did on Dorado in the Trial of Champions, Bullskunk. One of the signature moments of that tournament, turned a map on its head, single-handedly getting a 4 or 5K and throwing a very providential bob that ended up stopping the progress of the team that they were facing at that time. One of my standout moments here in the past month that I saw from My Crazy Cat, so this is not a surprise for me. Intensa bringing out this damage boost for the Ashe.
And just as you said, yep, My Crazy Cat pulling out that Ashe. That's what I was thinking would be a great answer to Anhu on this Echo, because of course Hollywood, so much high ground, could be just an absolute playground. But QARA recognize the threat from the other side. They see Hour Zero's not running the blackout comp. They're going to go to an Ashe Tracer setup of their own.
That's, we're going to have mirrored DPS here, and the Discord Orb is going to be something they're going to have to really focus down upon from Orchid and Aramori. Like I said, once they're feeling confident, she will bring out the Zen. We got an echoing Zen now.
Skiz is going to be really careful to avoid this Roadhog. That hook right there, that's the one I was talking about. Oh, so dangerous. But 2 kills quickly come through in the meantime. Cabe picks up a second of this fight, and QARA take a quick 3-man advantage on point A, and this is looking like a very fast cap indeed.
This is just time to hard reset, get yourselves aligned for the Streets phase. 5.5 minutes though, that's insanely fast, and Anhu and Orchid getting the first 2 kills in that volley. It's the Discord Orb.
Yeah, Vita almost got burned down by it just there. The new fast-moving elevator, the only thing saving the Roadhog. QARA's going to have to back up a little bit, catch their breath, and heal up before they make another attack.
And I think that if you're going to stay with this, then Salty has got to be able to stay in the fight. He's got to use the kinetic grasp to mitigate some of this damage coming in. And Vita's got to land hooks from you-know-where and really pull aggression into them.
Cabe is just pouring shots into Vita, and I was about to have Bob online. Anhu tosses the pulse bomb out and quite hit its mark. Vita does have the whole hogs. You go ahead and throw that down, clean off the high ground, drop down and try to clean up carpet. Anhu is there waiting for him with a pair of pistols, takes him down. Spec's gonna find Salty as well. Orchid, the only casualty on QARA, as they go to clean off the rest of the high ground. But Anhu bit off a little bit more than he can chew. My Crazy Cat landing the headshot. The Cabe finds the revenge.
This is a fast push through the point here. They're going to have to really decide, is it worth investing here, or do you set up on point 3? Because Skiz has these mines available that can absolutely section off the point and really make it hazardous to their health to come in.
CC throws out the bomb, but nice slam combined with the Zenyatta, and Orcus finds the kill. Rez comes out, and Salty somehow dies to his own hyperspheres. Cave then turns around and takes out My Crazy Cat. So that's 2 kills down, no res available. Orchid's gonna use Transcendence to push this cart the rest of the way home. Self-destruct thrown in from Specs. just buying more space. And QARA should be able to catch, especially a beautiful stick like that. Holy! Fall at the hands of Anhu. Skiz is gonna take down Vita, and here comes Point B.
Oh my goodness! I mean, they're still holding on. I mean, I don't know what just transpired there, but 445.
The heck off! That's what transpired.
I mean, goodness gracious, that's a ton of damage that you just cannot deny. And look at the focus fire coming down once again. They're taking out the supports first, and you can't do jack diddly if you don't have your supports online with you. So Skiz, you know, used mines towards the end of that last fight, has them already again. Cabe has another Bob ready to go. QARA showing up now and really taking it to Hour Zero, and Hour Zero is going to have to think about, you know, maybe doing a tank line swap, maybe bringing out the Moira and the Lucio again. Man, they've got to do something, otherwise this is going to be a tremendous amount of time on their time bank.
Yeah, QARA may have lost Volskaya, but they really shifted the momentum, forcing this composition swap, and they're able to just grab this high ground immediately on point C. Okay, we have somebody down there pushing QARA. We're in a bit of a stalemate there for a moment. Both teams just kind of staring each other down. Skiz breaks the tension and is going in for the kill. Okay, just gonna throw out the Bob, and QARA's gonna try to finish this thing off. Bob gets dealt with. Mines laid down from Skiz. There it is, finally first kill. It does a lot of posturing. Man, these teams are just dancing around each other. Maxwell falls. Now Anhu looking to go in and pop off yet again. Trying to take down Armor before she can build up the rest of that Transcendence. Tensa's going to go ahead and throw out the Valkyrie to try to keep Hour Zero alive, and it will work with the big Omnic Butler, this time dressed in green, putting down the hurt. Anhu off the board. Hour Zero stalling out this attack.
Yeah, I mean, they finally drew their line in the sand. It cost them a couple of ultimates, though. It cost them the Bob and the Valkyrie there. But what we're looking for right now, we need to see Orchid. Are they going to use this this Transcendence that he's got available, or is he going to hold it for Salty's next Gravitic Flux? They got to think in the back of their mind that it's available. So, you know, I mean, we're looking to see if it's going to be available. Aramoria is going to have one to answer as well. So this could be a very stalled out point, despite the fact that it got like 2.35 meters from getting a full completion there.
QARA making several swaps, most notably both tanks kept going over to the McCree. I think they need to do it with this push. Otherwise, Hour Zero is just going to swap back over to that Raper. The Cade with a good pick start things off. Stick comes out that doesn't claim any victims. Now it's a little bit of a tracer duel going on behind the cart. Meanwhile, the rest of QARA have pushed forward, but Skiz overstays his welcome. Crazy Cat finds two, as a matter of fact. Neptune opts to res Cave as opposed to the main tank, but Anhu and Orchid able to find some kills. As long as Anhu is in this fight, QARA still has a chance. Cave hiding off on the side, but needs a big hook. It's gonna be dangerous, hard to get out of that corner, and somehow manages to get the kill before Maxwell comes in and finds one of their own. Clapping back the stick once again onto Armori. Transcendence already gone, already used, and now looking to deny that res. And indeed, with a little help from Specs, Mercy goes down. QARA will pick up point C. It's just a matter of how much time will they have left in the bank. It's gonna be 129 left over.
But they took 3 minutes off. That's the first thing that if you're thinking from Hour Zero, okay, we took 3 minutes off, because that could have been a whole hell of a lot worse than it really was. But what a turnaround from Volskaya. You know, they took the momentum that they gained, even though they ended up losing the map. They brought that over here into their attack round and really punched Hour Zero in the mouth. I mean, Cabe and Anhu, are you kidding me? Multiple sticks from Anhu with the pulse bombs. So, you know, will we see the same thing coming out for them? Because, I mean, Neptune and Orchid kept their team up brilliantly. The Transcendence from Orchid really enabling the team to get that final push going through. I don't know. This could be a very dicey map here for Hour Zero. It might bring their winning streak to a close, because, I mean, a minute 29, that's nothing to shake a stick at, Bull Skunk. And we got to really, we've got to really take a look and see what Hour Zero are going to bring out here, because, you know, if they, you know, get in there, I'd say with about a minute, I'd say that this is going to be a very close map, probably in favor of QARA. But you see the Anhu Echo coming out again. This could spell trouble for them.
Yeah, and I was talking about QARA was so happy to have Anhu back amongst their squad. They are sticking his praises right now. Oh man, that double stick on the back of point B, that was a thing of beauty. And now, QARA back on to the Echo Tracer composition, but they've got the Lucio alongside the Mercy. They're not bringing the BAP Zen. We're gonna have a little bit more speed and availability for that res.
Indeed, I mean, but we see the Blackout Comp coming out from R0 here on the attack. They need to get up there and really attack the high ground. My Crazy Cat doing just that. Specs going up there to escort him away. And now they're going to get this. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of a red herring because the rest of the team sped around through the alley, and now they're going to try to come out bulldozer style, rush. Oh no! Here comes the debate the other way as they circle back around. The mind games from Hour Zero are real, and they are just moving like one brain. But Vita gets separated from the pack. Cade sees the opportunity, focuses him down. Now Hour Zero are stuck in that odd position of trying to make it out safely so they can get their main take back into this fight.
I mean, Maxwell almost got caught out as well. Anu had the sights down on them. But I mean, what we need to see right now, Anu's duplicate, what are they going to duplicate? I think you bring out another Winston and really deny space coming in. But look at the focus. They've been not able to clear off Maxwell. Maxwell got out with a shred of health there.
Anhu with the duplicate online, ready to go. Beat our Mori. I mean, anytime you beat a Moira in Ultimate, you are doing something right. Let's see if they choose to duplicate the Reaper once again, or if they're going to go for one of the tanks. Okay. Gets a kill with the stick. It is indeed the Reaper duplicate once again, going straight for the Sombra. Maxwell is able to duplicate Anu. Salty there with a follow-up, but not before Anu can find a kill onto Vito once again. If Hour Zero is going to make it happen, they're going to have to do it sans Winston, and that's looking less and less likely as Specs gets the DMAC on Salty.
Absolutely, and Aramori going down in that fight too is another blow that you can't handle. What a boop into the corner of My Crazy Cat trying to get out of there, and they had no answer for it. And once again, it is this Anhu that is dealing with so much pressure into Hour Zero. They don't know how to take care of it. Salty has got to get in the air and really focus him down. But I mean, the damage is coming in before that Salty can get in the air and take to Anhu. Anhu can just bring that focusing beam out and DMAC in a hurry.
Now Hour Zero have some win conditions, most notably that EMP. Neptune has got to hide. Just get under a rock and avoid this EMP like it's your life, because it is. You've got to get that sound barrier out. You've got to protect your team. Otherwise, Maxwell and My Crazy Cat are going to take this right here and now. This is their best chance. Buck 15 on the clock. Ultimate's ready to go. Mine's out first as Car's going to initiate, but the EMP is there. EMP finds two, but it doesn't get Neptune. Neptune gets the sound barrier out, and it's not enough to keep Skiz alive. Cave's pulse bomb devoured by Salty, who's going to respond with a self-destruct onto the objective, and that's going to get Orchid. Oh no, but Specs is able to find the support of their own and get the DMAC onto Salty. This is still anybody's game, and then Specs takes down Vita. No more tanks left for Hour Zero, and despite the wonderful start, QARA weathers the storm and are now pressing them back all the way outside. The Duke able to get the Death Blossom out and take Maxwell down.
I mean, what a series of... You're absolutely right. They are screaming Anu's name right now. What a play there. Getting the Death Blossom up at the last possible second and just destroying Hour Zero. And you're under 30 seconds now. You've got a Death Blossom and a Primal Rage. That's it to get you this first point. And I mean, you're coming up on another Pulse Bomb. You're coming up on Mines again very closely for Skiz. So they're going to have to weather this aggression coming in. Vita's going to have to pop this Primal at some point.
QARA survived the hardest part. They just need to hang on for a little bit longer. They will put an end to the 15-map win streak of Hour Zero. Crazy Cat does have Death Blossom. You cannot count this team out. It's going to drop down into the back, and Orchid falls first. Good start for Hour Zero. Maxwell's able to take Anhu down. 4-6 on the point, favoring Hour Zero. Crazy Cat keeping that ultimate. Just like an ace in the hole, and is going to be able to save that for point B. Hour Zero will get the flip, but not before overtime.
You know, and it is overtime, but look at the ultimate economy now. You know, even though they did invest, they invested the self-destruct in the previous fight. They now have 4 ultimates online too, almost 2 for QARA. And I mean, if Maxwell gets really aggressive here, that was a hopeful a hopeful pulse bomb coming out from Maxwell there.
And the awkward little duel on the elevator. They were shaking hands with bullets, I think, there, Billy.
I think you're right. And look at the press now. They're trying to get Anhu out of the sky, but that pocket is just not going away. I think you focus down the Mercy. Try to get Orchid out of the sky and take away the enablance of that Mercy for Anhu.
Vita does have the Primal Rage is forced to use it early as self-destruct comes out from Specs. Valkyrie used as well, but QARA still just getting forced back. They're looking slightly dislodged as they regain their composure up on the high ground, but Specs is left down low. Neptune is forced to pop that Primal Rage early. Now, there's not going to be a whole lot to defend against the multiple DPS ults coming in from hour 0, as all of this investment from QARA has not netted them any kills. No final blows on the board. Orchid goes down. Anhu gets taken out of the duplicate form. Maxwell using that pulse bomb along the way, and all the while, hour 0 just trotting alongside the actor in the car.
Getting up on this high ground, they're really trying to dislodge them. That's a huge set of mines coming out from Skids there. Absolutely perfectly placed, but look at Vita taking care of it. Still getting the progress on this part, and they're looking for the push now. They've got to take down Neptune. That's done. Wow, they've got only a couple of meters to go. And, I mean, this could be very interesting here. Got to focus the Mercy.
Yeah. Hour 0, despite being in a little bit of a different spot, they never look like they lose their composure. Like, they're always just calm, collected, making smart plays. I'm looking at you, Vita, leading the charge with just absolute discipline. I love it, Billy. Can't count this team out.
You cannot count this team out. And my Crazy Cat never did let go of that Blossom, by the way. So that's something else that is in their boot.
Vita's taking a lot of damage, is forced to get the heck out of dodge. Coming up on another Primal Rage, do have Coalescence available for hour 0. I imagine it'll be the initiation tool, as there is a slight standoff on the high ground, but both parties decide to go their separate ways. Now Ski is trying to push in, start the fight, and he is forced back out as Coalescence thrown in from Aramori. Maxwell's able to eventually burn down Skiz, who had taken too much damage. And all the while, this cart is still just rolling along. At this pace, there may not be much of a difference in these time banks. QARA is kind of stuck up on... Yeah. Anhu coming up on a duplicate as well. Crazy Cat does have that Death Blossom, and I think it's about time to pull the trigger on that one. Trying to get the imposter out of there. Anhu looking sus. Has a Death Blossom of their own. And he's going to go ahead and throw it out, but the kills are coming through the other way. Black Crazy Cat had the better of the Death Blossom. The Pulse One comes in and finds one self-destructive at the top. It's going to take down Specs. Hour 0 have come through in the end. They will push it home with roughly... No! We'll see how long this ball can stall. I was going to say 30 seconds, but you've got Skiz out there with a full head of steam. Oh, returning on the Doomfist. He's able to pick off one. Skiz does eventually go down. Coalescence is going to burn through Anhu as well. Now Specs' turn to come out here and stall, but the Primal Rage too much. And this point should eventually get there. If they can stall to overtime, hour 0 won't get another attack. Can they hold on for 5 more seconds? QARA, you've done such a good job. Don't give up now. Doomfist is in there. Anhu manages to get one. Or Mori goes down to the overtime wake is burning. Hour 0 will not get a chance to attack, even if they are able to complete this right here, right now. And QARA, they're still in this fight. Ball spinning around the point. Cave is out there putting so much pressure onto my Crazy Cat, but he's not able to get much done. Skiz able to finish him off. Maxwell, return fire, able to take down Cave. Specs very low, and Maxwell looking to burn him down. Salty able to get back in mech. That might just be the straw that broke the camel's back for QARA.
Yeah, maybe the self-destruct really didn't add anything, and there's a sound barrier coming out from Neptune. This might spell the end of the fight.
Oh, QARA! You're taking my breath away with this outstanding hold. Anhu's able to get 2! Throwing down the punches. Coalescence out. And QARA losing. Anhu gets a 3rd. Looking to get a 4th. Finds the 4th. Finds the hold. QARA take the first hour 0 in 5 games.
Oh. Okay. Woo. Well, all right.
Billy, it's your turn to talk. I'm out of breath.
Yep, I got this one. That was QARA answering in the best way they could. The stall was absolutely phenomenal. Anhu bringing the Doom in? Are you effing kidding me? Good grief! The 4K at the end. The sound barrier from Neptune. I mean, just the spinny ball. The spin to win from Skiz.
Yeah, the stall from Skiz was outstanding. Oh man. And I mean, in hour 0 they were doing a lot of things right. But they just weren't able to push that final. I mean, there was a time there where I was like, it's done. I mean, I called it at 30 seconds, right? I was like, they just got one more person to clean up. And then the Diva shows up, is able to stay alive long enough for Skiz to come back on that wrecking ball. And then, was it Orchid, I believe, showed up with the sound barrier?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
It was Neptune. Neptune.
It was Neptune. You're right. You're right. My apologies, Neptune. Well done. Well played. Tip of the hat to QARA. And now they've gotten themselves right back into this match.
Oh, they've got themselves back into the series in a very massive way. I think also the one unsung of that entire role there was Cabe. The damage and the nuisance factor. Every time that hour 0 was trickling in, there was the Tracer, little zip with the machine pistols, and just absolutely burning them down. When I mean, they were coming in half health, and then Skiz and company were just taking care of them. The first initial assassination that came out from Anhu on the Doomfist took my breath away because it was perfectly timed. They were getting ready to go punch in, and it was just, you're done. Out by done.
And a lot of that can be attributed to the big hold on point A. It took hour 0 until overtime to even get the cart rolling. That was just spectacular. QARA is able to fight back. They went down early in one of those fights, the second to last fight, I believe, on the point A defense, and still brought it back. I mean, geez. Anhu and Cabe, absolutely just all-stars. I mean, Anhu is just gets tip of the hat from me, but Cabe was doing such a good job of keeping My Crazy Cat and Maxwell in check that they weren't able to run away with it. Even if they weren't lighting up the kill feed as much as Anhu was, it was keeping My Crazy Cat from lighting up a kill feed in his own right with those Hellfire shotguns. So now we're headed to map number 4. We're headed to Mexico, Dorado, our escort map for this evening.
I don't know if either team really changes what they have. I think that if you're hour 0, you got to bring back the blackout comp. You have to bring that back. Go back to your strength, because even though we did see some lovely play from both My Crazy Cat and Maxwell. I mean, My Crazy Cat, not a bad performance once again on the Southern Belle with the Viper, but man, I could see it going both ways. I could see them running the blackout comp on their attack, and then maybe bringing out the Ash on their defense. So we'll see. Looks like QARA is going to be on the attack here.
It certainly looks like it. Hour 0's defending once again. No, that's not right.
I was about to say.
Wait a minute. Cabe and Anhu are on QARA now. Thank you. Sorry, Billy. I didn't have my glasses on there for a second. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Needless to say, so we are going to get the Tracer Echo composition once again. QARA sticking with a Lucio Mercy variant of this comp as they look to hold the high ground on point A.
Tensa and Aramori bringing out the Mercy Zenyatta, so you're going to be looking to focus down some serious damage here. My Crazy Cat keeping the Southern Belle, though. I'm honestly a little surprised to see this. And, I think the Salty might want to bring out... Oh, my goodness.
Beautiful coordinated assault between Skiz and Cabe. Burn down Aramori, just 5% in. And then punishes the res. Tensa's able to get Aramori back, but sacrifices their life in the process. Cabe's going to burn down My Crazy Cat, and QARA off to a strong start.
Yep, and I think right now it's the composition that hour 0 are running Bull Skunk because they have nothing to deal with Anhu in the sky. There's too much mobility. You need to bring back the Diva. Or bring out a Hog if you can get the hook off. But I mean, the flight, the ceiling here is quite a bit higher than what most people expect. So, if you're going to be looking to do that,
I think the goal is to deal with Skiz with the Hog, and that might free up my Crazy Cat to get some shots off. Because the Ashe is just having no time, no ability to set up and lay down shots onto Anhu. And then Anhu has free reign of the skies. Skiz and Cave are doing a wonderful job of creating that disruption in the back line. As you can see Cave keeping the flank in check right here. Even if they don't get the kill on the Maxwell, they're controlling that flank angle. Now pushing in on a little bit of a flank of their own. Opting out of the duel. I'm guessing that was a call from Skiz. Skiz comes rolling through and Specs gobbles up a pulse bomb. Now, Anhu goes down though with the duplicate in their pocket. Okay, res available. I can't believe they got that one off. Yeah, that's what I thought. My Crazy Cat just gets the kill once again. And Skiz is going to go ahead and throw bombs here. QARA is still choosing to invest in this fight. And it's going to find a kill with those mines. Maxwell running right into harm's way.
Yeah, and I mean, not a bad investment of that ult either, but I mean, Aramori goes down through a grapple. Salty is looking very worse for wear. He's got to get out of that small and close space because with Cade with those machine pistols, oh my goodness. That's not good.
That was a valiant attempt at Salty with a body block, stepped in front of Aramori at just the last second to eat that pulse bomb and was going to try to use the take a breather, but there was just too much damage. QARA's focus fire was too good on that one, but My Crazy Cat might have given them just the window of opportunity they need to finish off this point.
Absolutely, but Specs does get back into their mech, so you're going to have that damage mitigation coming out, and who still has his duplicate online. So where they're going to go with it, not sure yet, but you have Whole Hog. You've also got Transcendence to deal with mines and maybe also a self-destruct.
Oh, Specs to Neptune low. Cade goes down. Maxwell finds the stick onto the pilot Diva. Anhu, I mean, went in and out of duplicate, I mean, in the blink of an eye, and then just gets deleted. Hour Zero, I think they're a bit angry here, Billy. They took that cleanly.
Cleanly, and it was on the back of the initiation with the Whole Hog coming out of Salty. Salty already 30% to another Whole Hog. So, you know, I think that the Valkyrie getting the group healing and the group damage was going on with that, and also Salty putting out that Whole Hog. You save the Transcendence also, so if you need to use it when Desperation gets down a little bit, or, you know, Specs throws out this self-destruct, you're going to have the ability to stay up through the mid-fight and maybe be able to push back onto them.
Dita's caught on a little bit of the high ground there. He's getting pounced on by 3 people and just stayed in the fight, just eating it like a trooper. But Cade lands a pulse bomb, gives the defense a +1. That res should come out as this Transcendence was forced as well. MCC will get res back in this fight as expected, but now without that Transcendence, they don't really have the tools to push in. We're going completely neutral, and Armory's going to get burned. Here comes the self-destruct over the top. That finds Tensa, no more support, standing for Hour Zero. Salty trying to respawn. MCC goes down, and QARA with the +2 advantage. They're going to hold on.
Now, one thing we didn't notice is that Anhu swapped over to the Sombra.
I did notice. I just didn't have a chance to touch on that just yet, but yeah, and is already 85% to an EMP.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah. Chasing around the team from Maxwell, but Orchid also swapping over to a Moira at the same time. Anhu made that swap. A little too elusive for Maxwell in that engagement. Nice rotation to the high ground. And QARA's just going to drop right down, but it looks like Hour Zero are starting to bunch up on this cart, and it could be difficult to dislodge. 3-man EMP, and Aramori goes down. My Crazy Cat goes down. I spoke a little bit too soon. Nothing is too difficult for Anhu.
Nothing is ever difficult for Anhu, especially when you get a 3-man EMP like that. You get both supports and... You also got Salty, so he couldn't take a breather, so Tensa had to try and get out of there as fast as they could. Nothing doing there, but you've got Valkyrie coming up. You've got a Pulse Bomb for Maxwell coming up. Orchid now onto this Moira. Has the Coalescence that's going to be able to keep the aggression from coming in too badly to them. And Skiz, you know, Skiz is doing a manifesto job on this Wrecking Ball. I mean, the mines are going to be filthy when they come out.
Ooh. Quick 2 kills, let the feed as the
no way.
Blown in from Orchid. Stick on to the Wrecking Ball, and Invita goes down. Salty goes down. QARA planting the brakes on this thing. They say, no, your truck will not get into the power plant.
Yeah, you're looking at 40 seconds as well. Not much on the board right now for Hour Zero. Closest is a Whole Hog. So we got to be seeing, you know, Salty denying that and bringing out the Diva now. A full comp swap up here, other than Vita staying on their own and Maxwell staying on the I don't know, he lies to me again, going over to the summer. So they're bringing out the Blackout comp with the Wrecking Ball variant, running into 4 ultimates. Anhu with this EMP is absolutely going to shut this down in a hurry.
On paper, Hour0 have no business winning this fight. Anhu stalking, waiting to use this EMP. QARA just all sitting on the 4 corners, waiting for somebody to touch. They step into the web, and here comes the EMP. There's Maxwell goes down. Anhu's super low as well. Vita's trying to stay on this point as the overtime begins a burn, and Hour0 has to keep toes on the cart. Right now, that job belongs to Salty as Vita is deleted. Specs is going to throw down the self-destruct and try to clean out the remaining members, but only buys a second of time. Now, whoa, Pilot Diva, God, D-Mech there. And with that, there's nobody left touching cart. QARA putting up a fantastic defense. This map is looking more and more winnable for QARA.
Yeah, I think they stayed to the Roadhog a little bit too long. You weren't seeing the hooks that we normally see coming out of Vita, or Salty, I'm sorry. And you know, the Wrecking Ball just wasn't getting enough value from Vita. So, you know, they're gonna have to really think about a compositional shift here, Bullskunk, because it was pretty dicey there for them. I mean, they didn't even get to point 3. So that is something that we need to be looking at as we're looking for the defense from Hour0.
Yeah, it's QARA have definitely thrown a bit of a wrinkle into their plans, because you'd think the Hog would be a good counter to Skiz on the Wrecking Ball, as I was anticipating, but was just not finding that value like you're talking about. Skiz doing such a good job of staying elusive, of finding just the right targets and coordinating with Cabe. We saw it there on point A. From the very moment the doors open, they walk out and destroy Aramori within seconds with excellent coordination.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely, you know, focus down targets. I mean, Anhu, once again, putting in a pretty stellar performance on that Echo throughout the first 1.5 points. And, you know, decided to swap off and going in with a Tracer of their own. So this will be very incredible. And, I mean, we've had a bit of a... we're having a bit of a technical difficulty with our feed here, so please stand by.
Yeah, we're just resetting this feed for you. Make sure we can clean up any of the scuff. But we're right back into it here on Dorado. QARA on their attack. Like you said, they're going back to that Tracer Echo. And Hour0 back on the Blackout. They're not going to have any anti-air. QARA just need to reach not even all the way to the back of point B. They don't have to get it all the way in, just close. But they're going to have to get past Vita first. So far, not able to do that. Vita drawing first blood on Hour0's defense. My Crazy Cat's able to pick up Skiz. And that will send QARA into a reset.
Yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed as to why the entire team chased Skiz down, because all the while, QARA was getting some progress. And I mean, they've got it right at the archway right now, and they've got to get it through there and really set their feet, because, I mean, 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock is not a lot of time. And I mean, if they get this through fast, it's going to be absolutely horrid.
Working through some snowy weather in Dorado, apparently. But when we return, look, it's Anhu on a Sombra, who covered in snow, looking by the light colors. If they get with that EMP, looks like they are. They're going to drop that EMP and find 4. Including both tanks. Pulse Bomb coming out, keeping the rest of the team at bay, but they don't find any kills. Since he's able to get that sound barrier out and Skiz goes down, advantage Hour0 in this fight, coming up on an EMP of their own. Cart slowly drifting forward, but it's not going to find any more progress.
That'll within 5 meters though, so that is the first thing that I want to look at. I mean, the hold here from Hour0, it's going to have to be staggered and stacked. They're going to have to get the assassinations one by one. Tensa does not have anything to defend against the aggression that's going to be coming in. He's got to get this sound barrier up as quickly as he can, probably before the 1 minute 15 second mark, if possible. Aramori also having to invest the coalescence in the previous extended fight. Wow, I mean, the healing is going to have to be there, you know, just dry. What I'm really looking for is the dueling self-destructs from Spec and Salty. I want to see how it goes out.
Yeah, I also want to see you play a little slow. So, oh! Or you can just kill Maxwell right as EFP comes out. Skiz did get hacked up, just narrowly avoided death with just a pixel of health. Neptune finally gets out the sound barrier, trying to give Kara the edge, and they're going to find at least one kill on the back of that. Crazy Cat trying to equalize, but Kara too elusive. Throw out the self-destruct, buy themselves a little room. Vita takes a ton of damage, is forced to use that primal rage as Anhu burns down Maxwell with the focusing beam. Now trying to take down MCC. Puts the sticky bombs in there, and My Crazy Cat is gone. No more DPS standing for hour 0. Kara should be able to clean this thing up as Anhu takes Vita down with that focusing beam. Salty, still a threat, and Maxwell has returned on the Tracer. They are not out of this yet. We know just how tenacious Hour 0 can be. And they're showing that here as Salty gets the DMAC. Anhu's going to go ahead and that's the duplicate. They don't want to give up. They don't want to save it for final fight. They want it right here now, and that may have been ill-advised. Specs is going to drop the extra pulse bomb whiffs as both teams just retreat for a moment to take a breath.
I think I need a breath too. And look at Maxwell just getting so much value on this and taking Anhu out. That is detrimental in the least. Oh my goodness, if you got a sound barrier, Tensa's gonna be able to keep them up in the last 10 seconds here, Bullskunk. You've got mines almost online, you've got a sound barrier almost online. You've almost also got another self-destruct, and here comes Skiz over the top. Are they gonna recognize him?
Kara, you've looked so good throughout this series. Is this where it ends? They're gonna throw lines down. The only ult coming out and sound barrier from both sides. Oh, Coalescence thrown and pulse bomb there. My Crazy Cat with a Death Blossom ready to go, hanging out on the right-hand side, daring anybody to get close to that cart. Specs trying to take that dare and, well, felt the wrath running into Salty's mind, trying to escape the Hellfire shotguns. The Death Blossom does come out. Salty wins it with the mines, and Hour 0 hold on. Their perfect map record ruined, but their win streak continues as they close this one out on map 4, 3-1, and start Trials week off with a bang.
My goodness, that was absolutely incredible coming out from them. That was a heck of a performance. I thought that Hour 0 was going to be really pushing it through there. I thought we were going to go to a map 5. So full credit to Kara, though. They are the first team, like you said, in 5 series to take a map off of them across Trial of Champions and Open Division as well. So, man, this has been a heck of a performance coming out from them today. 3-1 winners. This was not indicative of the scoreline at all. It was Heresy.
I'm very impressed by both of these teams, frankly. I think both of these teams have a shot at making it into contenders propers if they can keep up this level of performance. I mean, Kara put up a fantastic hold, but Hour 0 put up a better one. My Crazy Cat pulled it through at the end, was just laying down so much damage, really, really making a case, especially in that final hold, as to why you're bringing a Reaper into these compositions.
2 coalescences in the final fight as we went into overtime there from who our interview is going to be, Aramori.
Yeah, we'll give us just a moment. We'll get her in here, but yeah, well, as a matter of fact, we're just going to take a quick break, get that interview set up, and we're going to come back and talk with Aramori. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are here with Aramori, the support player from Hour Zero. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you so much.
Started off, I want to ask about Volsky. I want to go back to map 2. We're looking at point B. Y'all are defending, and it looked like y'all kind of in a little huddle there in the mega room. And meanwhile, QARA was on the point getting some progress. What happened there?
Yeah, so the whole point of that was we had to give him something. We can't, we got to give him some self-confidence. We let him have those ticks. They don't matter to us. We wanted the point. It's fine.
Oh, it worked. It worked. You ended up taking Volskaya in the end, so I guess you did lull him in a bit.
Yeah.
Billy?
Okay. Well, I mean, I wanted to ask, how did you adapt to Anhu's echo, because they brought it out and you guys seem to have a little mental and I mean the value that we saw from Anhu bringing the echo and the sticky bombs and focusing beams, it looked like you guys couldn't sustain through the fights and really get on top of the echo player to take them out of the fight. So tell us how you got around that, and if you felt the same thing that we were seeing, which was a real oppression coming in from the echo player.
So it's a very different play style, of course, but I think everyone on our team is very smart, and I've said this before, during Trial of Champions, we understand how to adapt and we understand how to play, so we just flipped the switch and we changed our play style, and it worked. It worked out in our favor.
That did. That was pretty good. Oh my goodness, it was so good. Yeah.
Thank you.
So 14-0, or you were let's see, you came in 13-0 across all your maps, and you finally dropped one. So you're at 15-1 across your past 5 series. So who are you scared of playing here in Contenders Trials? Who are you, thinking that might give you the biggest challenge here in Trials?
I don't think we're necessarily scared of one team. I think mostly we're kind of scared of beating ourselves, whether it be nerves or misplaying or things like that. So there's definitely a lot of that. I don't think we're scared of any team. I think we know we can compete with them very well, and I think you'll see us semifinals, finals. So I'm not worried about it.
Is there anybody you're looking forward particularly to competing against?
I'm looking forward to playing Last Hope. There's some old teammates of mine over there. I actually played against some old teammates today, so it's just fun to see my friends and be oh hey, I'm gonna beat you today.
On that same thread, one last question, I guess. What do you think the Final Four is going to be?
Oh geez, probably Drifters, us. Maybe 200 MS. I'm not really sure. It'll be really interesting for sure.
All right.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, good luck with the rest of the week. Is anybody you want to give shout outs to here before we let you go?
My Twitter, which is at Aramori _OW or OW. And then my team, they keep me sane. I have really bad anxiety coming into these matches, and they know that, so they keep me calm and sane, so love them. Yeah.
You look calm and composed today. Friends at home, I hope y'all enjoyed this match as much as I did. Go drop Arbori a follow. Go drop Hour Zero a follow. But we are going to say goodbye to you today as we close out the night. Man, it has been some awesome matches, Billy. Any final thoughts before I send us home?
Oh man, I'm looking forward to the rest of the week of NA Contenders and see what happens across the pond as well. This is the last trials for the year, and it's sent it out with a bang.
Absolutely did. Well, big shout out, thank you to our producer, Darboyd, as well as our observer. Couldn't do it without the people behind the scene. And most importantly, thank you, friends at home, for supporting Tier 2 and hanging out with us tonight. But this is Bull Skunk and Chef Billy signing off. Y'all remember to look out for each other in game and out. We'll see you back here tomorrow for more Contenders Trials.
Hi, guys. Love y'all.